Windsor Park in Launceston is the venue for this big clash in the TSL this afternoon. The Bupa TSL between the first and third teams on the ladder. It's the top of the ladder, Launceston, against the third place, Glenorchy. Of course, Glenorchy coming off a loss last week to Clarence on our live stream game. And Launceston taking all before them here in season 2018. Welcome to City Park Radio 96.5 and 103.7 and via the TSL live stream. Hope you enjoy our coverage this afternoon. And I'll introduce now my co-commentators. First of all, right next to me, it's the great Barry Triffett. Good afternoon, Baz.
Yeah, good afternoon, Dave. Good afternoon, listeners. Very blustery here at Windsor Park. An unusual wind, actually, coming right out of the south-east, and it's going to favour the Exeter or the Bass Strait end of the ground, which will be totally different.
And also a big first-time welcome to City Park Radio and the TSL live stream to the TSLW coach for Launceston Footy Club, Alex Gibbons. G'day, Alex.
Thanks, David. Thanks for having me, everybody. Looking forward to this one. Interesting matchup with some key outs, which we'll talk about in a minute. But, yeah, we'll see where this game goes.
Let's get to those straight away, mate, because they are big outs. One big out for each team. First of all, for Glenorchy, Jay Bowden's out. And, of course, we all know, and everyone around Tasmania who knows football knows what a big player he is for Glenorchy.
Yeah, well, Jay Bowden, I couldn't find a suitable matchup from the Launceston team, actually, when I went through it. So if he had gone forward, I reckon he would have caused some trouble today. And
Baz, one of the engine room players for Launceston, Sam Rundle, is out, and they'll miss his drive from the midfield.
Oh, they certainly will. He's a ball magnet, isn't he, Dave? I mean, every game he gets his 25, 30 possessions, and he'll be sorely missed today.
Now, Baz, you were here last week. Impressed with the Blues?
Oh, I was. Very impressed. Young House was very, very good, and I noticed he's back in the Mariners today,
yep.
So... that's a good thing for him because he was put aside last week. He was brilliant in his debut, and yeah, I was very impressed with the Blues last week. And well, they'll be tested a lot better today, won't they? Because they're up against one of the top sides. Last week it was one of the bottom sides, the Tigers. So this week they'll be certainly tested when they go in there against Glenorchy, the Magpies.
And Alex, a big debut today for young Sam Bruniwood up against one of the best ruckmen in the competition, Cam Duffy.
Yeah, so going into the game, I was actually looking forward to the matchup with Duffy and Leadham, but obviously Leadham's out with a suspension. Yeah, look, it's an opportunity for young Sam. So just looking at him there, he's young and raw against one of the best rucks. Who's I expect Cameron Duffy to have a pretty big game, but what an opportunity for Sam to take.
The conditions, Baz, as you said, interesting wind, and we'll get an update at the moment in a moment from our boundary riders down on the ground. But it is that southerly wind. Of course, we know all about the weather that's been happening in Launceston and more to the point in Hobart the last few days. It's been amazing.
It certainly has, and according to the radar, it's about at its peak at the moment. It's meant to die away a little bit in the afternoon, but it might be one of those days when you wouldn't mind losing the toss and actually kicking against it in the first quarter, because normally winds take a long time to die away in the afternoons, and it generally doesn't happen around about dusk, and this game will be well and truly over. And you wouldn't mind coming home in the last quarter with this breeze behind you at the moment if it's pretty close at three-quarter time.
And you may get a feel for how breezy it is on our broadcast today, because we are semi in the elements today. We're out here on the balcony in the Windsor Centre on the eastern side of Windsor Park, so we do get the odd gust of wind that comes into our commentary position, so apologies if there's a little bit of wind interference during the day. There's not a lot we can do about it, but we'll do our best to keep it at a minimum. Okay, the teams have broken up, and there's going to be a great game here today. It's fantastic to see Launceston and Glenorchy go at it. They were here last year. It was a real breakout game for Launceston last year when they won by about 60 points early in the season. Really launched the season for the Blues. Alex, you notice something there?
Launceston kicking with the wind in the first quarter.
Okay.
I think that's a really good move. I reckon they won the toss. I'll go against you there, Barry. I reckon always kick with the wind first. The opposition are always chasing the game then.
Yes, I certainly go with that. But today, if this wind keeps up and it's really close at three-quarter time, you wouldn't mind coming home with it, I would imagine.
We've got to get down to our boundary rider, Craig Boone. Craig, what are the conditions like down there?
G'day, Dave. Yeah, as you guys have mentioned already, very windy down here to the Exeter end, as you were calling it. So a pretty strong breeze, probably about a 4-goal breeze. Conditions pretty good, but maybe a little bit spongy after the rain we've had, but shouldn't provide too many problems.
No worries, thanks, Craig. We'll hear from you and Chris Sayer at quarter time. We've got Dave Gruber on stats as well today, joining the team, and he'll provide us with all the team stats through the day. Let's get underway here. City Park Radio on the TSL live stream. It's the first bounce. Here's Barry Triffett.
And umpires Bridges, Butler and Doyle are in charge of the big fixture here at Windsor Park. And the first tap goes the way of Cameron Duffy for the Magpies. It goes to ground level. A big pack of players there, but ends up with Webster. Webster's tackled, thrown to the ground. The umpire says no opportunity. We'll bounce it up, and the ball's moved about 15-20 metres towards the end that the Glenorchy combination of kicking in this opening term, which is against this fairly brisk breeze. The ball's still there around about that area, twisting and turning in the middle of the field there, and a bit of a couple of quick handballs out. Ends up out there with Joseph. He's tackled, ball goes to ground. It's very scrambly passage of play to open this encounter. There's a big pack forming over there. The umpire's forced to come in and will throw it skyward yet again. Probably see a little bit of that until the players settle down. It certainly is a tricky breeze. I just walked around the boundary there about 15-20 minutes ago, and it's quite blustery and certainly different to what the players would be normally used to, as the kick goes wide out to the outer side where Palfreman pushes it towards the boundary line. The boundary umpire over there in front of the interchange area will do his work for the first time this afternoon when he tosses it back in.
Boundary throw in, just slightly the attacking side of the wing for the Blues. Kicking with the wind in this first quarter. The boundary throw and holds up in the breeze. There's young Bruni Wood on debut. Comes out here for Glenorchy, taken by Reece Mott. He kicks up the wing, but the mark is taken there by the Blues, low down, by Chris Savage. 31-year-old, having a great season with the Blues. So he's going to launch an attack here for the Lonnie Footy Club. Up to right, left half forward. Duffy's there, can't take the mark. Off the ground, Rushton. Taken away well here by Matthew Joseph. He kicks further up the wing, but once again they turn it over, and once again it's Chris Savage in the way. So Savage will reset once again, almost an identical play to about 30 seconds ago, into the centre of Windsor Park. Holds up in the breeze, well done Hines. Handballs backwards now to Van der Velde. Forced to kick with his right. Kicks to advantage. Instead of going for the ball, Sonny Whiting lays the shepherd. Boyce confronted. Gets round. Ruther Kelly Mansell on the boundary line. Uses his skill to evade the Glenorchy defenders and gets it nicely to Palfreman. Now with the breeze behind him here, at right half forward, he'll deliver from right on 50. He's every chance here, Brody Palfreman. But they did well there, the Blues. Chris Savage, he changed his tactic that time, Alex. He went for the switch rather than down the line.
Yep, no, good move. It was scrappy going up and down the line, backwards and forwards. That's the key to this game. Launceston getting out into space and a nice easy ball going into forward line.
Brady Palfreman twirls the ball in his hand. Right in front of us here in the Windsor Function Centre. Delivers for goal. No problem with the distance. No problem with the accuracy. First goal on the board to Launceston. 1 goal straight 6. Glenorchy yet to score.
Yeah, no, it was all about the lead-up. As we say, it's been a bit scrappy. I think Glenorchy would have been happy to that first goal. They're playing a loose man in defence. Launceston have decided not to man that person up and also play a loose in their defence. Might create a little bit of overlap run. Chris Savage switched play into the middle, and then I think it was Simon Van der Velde did a secondary kick out to the opposite wing, and it was a nice easy ball into Ruller, who kicked it to Brody Palfreman.
So we're back in centre field. Umpire's about to put ball back to turf. The youngster Sam Bruniwood favours him, bounces in his direction, but the umpire said it's favoured you too much. In fact, it's outside the centre circle, and of course, as we know these days, the umpire will now throw it skyward and then back out of the pack. Bruniwood in there, but he's beaten to the tap by Cameron Duffy. Goes to ground level again. Here's Joey Boyce, breaks his way through 3 or 4 players, kicks it out wide, looking out there for Smith. He runs onto it nicely for the Blues. Handballs over the top to Sonny Whiting. Whiting allows the ball to bounce, balances himself now, turns, dodges, weaves, may get caught, may trip himself up. He does, in fact, gets it back to Smith, and he's been adjudicated as running too far with the ball. Went about 25 metres, I reckon, in the end. So it's Joseph with the relieving kick on half-back. Gives it on to Rainbird. A dynamo in midfield for the Magpies. Kicks it. It goes through the player down there in Daniel Joseph. At ground level, though, there's plenty of Magpies in there. A scoop out of the pack there goes from Millhouse out wide. Goes in towards Vanderfield, the big centre half-back for the Blues. Takes it across that half line, gives it to Ryan Tyrrell. He kicks it out of defence and kicks towards centre wing on the far side of the ground. But Cameron Duffy standing tall, and the height of this fellow is going to be instrumental for the Magpies this afternoon as he takes a timely mark on centre wing. He'll put it deep towards the half-forward line. Hasn't got a great deal on offer out there. Vanderfield, the backman, pushes it to ground level. He's clever enough to pick it up. He gives it straight to the opposition player there. And the kick goes just inside the top of the goal square. Opportunity here for Glenorchy. Being tackled. Will he be holding the ball? The umpire says play on. It breaks loose. Launceston have got the numbers. Joe Boyce over the top. Gets it on there to Hines. Hines is tackled. Gets it on a little bit further. Looking for and finding Shepherd. Shepherd's tackled beautifully. Ball breaks to the ground there, and Mott comes in now for Glenorchy. Mott tackles it for the second time. Gets it over the top. Gets it back to Daly. Daly's up a set upon. The ball goes back to ground level. Players come in all from all directions. The umpire said we'll bounce it down just outside 50 for the Magpies. Glenorchy going to the town end against the breeze. They're yet to score. Launceston a one straight goal. And we've played just on 7 minutes into this, the opening term.
Yeah, Baz, I forgot to start the time clock. Add 3 minutes to what I've got on the screen there. I was 3 minutes slow. So about right there. It's about the 7th minute of play. Jake Hines with a free kick. Half-back, he's looking to switch, but it's pretty crowded on the other side of the ground. He does go short. He finds a teammate there in Jack Donnellan. Donnellan sets up play. Risky kick on the bootlaces. Done well there is Casey Brown. He goes centrally down the ground with the breeze. It could carry everybody, it does. Chance on the ground here for the Blues. Picked up, kick in towards full forward, here towards Thorpe. Doing well there is Josh Grant. Falls to Gillum. He's on the boundary line, James Gillum. He gets the handball away to Thorpe, who's caught. He'll be penalised. Holding the ball, Mitch Thorpe. And put under pressure there a little bit by James Gillow. He tried to get rid of the ball, and a great tackle by Grant, who's the match-up today. He gets it to half-back. Ball taken nicely there by Harrison Gunther, playing in defence. He goes in the middle of the ground. It clears over there towards the debutant today for the Blues. That's Tyson Miller. It's now on the far side with Zach Webster. Kicks up towards half-forward, and the mark is taken there by number 15 for Glenorchy in Harry Parker. He plays on straight away, tries to find Camerick. It's on the pocket now. Camerick goes short, only gets it to far though is the Blues' Dylan Riley. Riley's in his defensive goal square, handballs away. Chance here for Casey Brown. He's nearly caught. He is caught. He might be penalised. He gets a handball away just in the nick of time to Riley. He's caught. Great tackling, Glenorchy. Not rewarded. And it's going to be a ball up, I think, or it's going to be released. Let's see, Blues working hard in there, but some fantastic forward pressure there from Glenorchy. Unrewarded, Alex Gibbons.
You're exactly right, David. Launceston very, very lucky there. Their four-line pressure wasn't up to scratch. It was too easy ball coming out. Could have resulted in a shot for Glenorchy then.
And the ball will be thrown up by the umpire, certainly right in the deep into the forward pocket. It was tapped down by Parker, and it's twisting and turning one of the Glenorchy players out of the pack there. Snaps it from about 34 metres out was Bierman, and it's offline, but it's the first score for the Glenorchy Magpies. They're one behind, and they've been going pretty well against this breeze in the last 3 or 4 minutes. And Launceston a one straight goal, and the kick in comes towards the half-back line. Almost a mark there. The umpire in perfect position said it's touched the ground, play on. Big pack forming again. Now the umpires need to throw this ball up a lot quicker, because otherwise there's going to be a lot of packs in the early stages.
Glenorchy doing well, Alex. It's 4 inside 50s to 2.
Yeah, they're playing it on their terms. Real heavily contested ball when they're kicking into the wind. It's great.
8 1/4 minutes into the opening term. It's taken out of defence here by Riley. He kicks it towards the centre of the ground. Almost a good mark there to Arnold. Ball breaks down there to the Launceston Blues. Have got the number through Hines. He runs onto his trusty left boot and then kicks it in the Sonny Whiting direction. Kicked a bag full in the seconds last week. Can't trap this one though. The ball goes to the boundary line, and it'll find the boundary, and the boundary umpire will be forced to do his work deep in the forward pocket.
Alex, 7 hit-outs to 0 for Glenorchy, but clearances are even at the moment.
Yeah, okay. Doesn't surprise me. Cameron Duffy in for a big day.
Now Thorpe is coming in there to do the ruck work for the Launceston Blues. Gets himself in front. Hurried kick out of the pack. Ends up with Shepherd. His handball has been intercepted out there beautifully by Camerick. He is also intercepted. He's back in there getting it again for the second time. A big pack forms, and yet another throw up. I reckon that's about 7 or 8 already in the opening term. And as I've mentioned a couple of times, I reckon we're going to see a little bit of that until both sides settle down and get used to this breeze, which is quite tricky here this afternoon. Duffy's been good in the ruck so far, and he gets another tap, but it goes to nobody. Here's another pack forming. Here's another throw up from the umpire 30 metres out directly in front of the Blues goal line. They're kicking with a 2 or 3 goal breeze in this opening term. They're one straight goal. Glenorchy at 1 point, and we've played almost 10 minutes.
Thorpe and Duffy. Duffy another hit out. It's about 9-0 at the moment. Comes to Riley though. Snap for goal. Round the corners. Not too bad. It's a goal. Fantastic shot there by Giacomo Malucci. I'll get that one out in a minute. Giacomo Malucci. Fantastic goal for Launceston. He's on top of the Mercury Cup goal kicking, and he showed his class there, and he scores the second goal for Launceston.
There's a clear 2 different game styles going on at the start of the game, and the wind might be contributing to that. When Launceston get it out into space and run, they can. Their skills are too fast for Glenorchy at the moment. Glenorchy, though, are up for the contest, and when they're in tight with the scrap, it's very much game on.
Yeah, great goal from the boundary line. We'd love to see those, Baz. We're right behind that one, and he just judged it beautifully with a tricky breeze.
Yes, beautiful kick.
City Park Radio, 103.7, 96.5, and the TSL live stream is Barry Triffett.
And the big fella gets the tap down again in Duffy, but he's getting a lot of taps down, but it's not directly going to his teammate. There's a lot of secondary throw-ups, and here's another one. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to thump one or two wide just to try and change the structure of the game at the moment. He gets himself back in front, gets another tap down, goes to his teammate, but in there also is Riley, and he tackles and up will go again.
I reckon, Barry, what you'll find is Duffy will start to do that when they're kicking with the win next quarter. If he has this sort of dominance, then he'll look to hit it into space then.
Oh, he's in there now, and it's Spawn that's doing the ruck work against him. The ball comes down there to Shepherd, is smothered off the boot. Taken away there by the little dynamo in Daly. Gets it in towards centre wing. 2 or 3 handballs from the Blues, and it's broken out by Tyrrell. Gets it out now towards the half-forward line, but it's all the defence back here of Glenorchy. And taking the mark is Salter on half-back. Gets it on quickly to Arnold. Gets it out wider to another teammate. Here they go through centre field with Mott. They've been caught, though. The Blues are awake up to this, and they've got numbers across the centre area, and they've bottled the ball up again. The umpire's circling and will come in and give another throw up just inside the centre square.
It's what we saw last week, Baz, against the Tigers, wasn't it? The pressure on the ball carrier.
Yep. Forcing
the error. As it's just a forward of the centre square for Launceston. Glenorchy is still okay. They're only trailing by 11 points into the breeze. Out of mid-air by Raleigh Kelly, mounted towards Hines. Met solidly there by Jack Stevenson. Now with Mott. His handball finds a teammate there who kicks quickly forward. Trying to trap the ball there was Aganis. He couldn't do so. It's a strong contest now on the wing, taken by Spon. Now the umpire spotted a free kick here. Play on advantage, up to half forward, over the top of Malucci. Here's a chance here for Jake Smith, can't pick it up. Malucci again, working hard to defence the Pies. They do it well. Connor Salters in there. Spills to the contest here. Josh Arnold can't pick it up. Quick kick out of defence by Daniel Joseph. Now it falls to Jack Stevenson. They did it well there, the Pies defence. Stevenson goes wide, he goes too wide, and the breeze takes it out of bounds on the full. It's Launceston 2 straight 12, Glenorchy 1 behind 1 point. Inside 50s now, 5-4, Glenorchy trailing. In towards full forward, Thorpe with a sit, can't quite take it on the second grab. Play on, umpire says. It's on the ground, player scrambling for the ball. And looks like it'll be a ball up as the umpire is circling. And Mitch Thorpe nearly got the grab there, Alex. He just couldn't quite take it with that second opportunity.
Yep, outpositioned him, had just dropped the mark at the end of the day.
Josh Grant with the job today on Mitch Thorpe. As player tackled to the ground again. It's a close game as you expect in these conditions. Not a lot of space and not a lot of time for the ball carrier. Still about 25 metres out from Launceston's goal at left half forward. Players can't get it out. That's tackled to the ground. We'll have another stoppage. In the Mercury Cup today, it was Launceston 10-18-78. Defeated Glenorchy 3-10-28. By just trying to clear some space here. As Thorpe wins the tap. Player might have been pushed in the back. Or over the shoulder, says the umpire. And emerging is Jack Denellen. And he'll shoot for goal only from about 35 out. 45-degree angle. The left-hand side. We saw him kick a nice goal from distance last week here against the Tigers. Been playing 13, nearly 14 minutes at Windsor Park.
With the movement at the top of the goalpost, Dave, it's moving almost 200 or 300 mil.
It certainly is. We saw that last week, except the breeze was in the opposite direction. It's a southeasterly today. Jack Denellen approaches the man on the mark, usually a defender. See how he goes shooting for goal on the left foot. Is he allowed for the breeze? Not enough. And it's a 1 behind. So Launceston 2-1-13. League Glenorchy 1 behind 1 point. And it's 14 minutes into the first quarter.
Yes, exactly 12 points the difference. And if you've just joined us, Launceston kicking with a fairly strong and blustery breeze to the Exeter end of the ground. Glenorchy kicking to the town end. The kick in comes down and finds the little fella there in Daly. He gets it on quickly now towards centre wing on the broadcasting side of the ground where Walker missed the ball, but he allows his teammate to come in and get it, and that's Webster. Webster now with the right boot. He had nothing on offer up there, so he's forced to kick it towards the half-forward line. Joey Boyce props his body in front. Gets it on quickly there to Tyrell. Looks like the ball was almost out of bounds, but the boundary umpire's right there, and in there is Boyce again. He's pushed over and the ball's paddling forward. There's an opportunity here for Glenorchy. Handball over the top. It's gone to nobody in particular, though. There's a lot of Blues standing in the last line defence, smothered off the boot there of Grant. Ball breaks to ground level again. The umpire's having a good look, and he's found a free kick, and it's going to go the way of Glenorchy.
Incorrect disposal, I think, Baz, against Jimmy Aganis. And it's like we've got number 39, late inclusion, Riley Oakley. He was the late inclusion for Jay Bowden.
Yes, we'll see if he can kick goals like Bowden can kick them. He's a terrific shot at goal. But Riley Oakley, very deliberate. Now the ball will hold up a little bit as it gets to the top of the goal square there. As it sneaks through, I think it has. The goal umpire walks back between the two big uprights and says, that's Glenorchy's first. And they're 1-1-7. They're trailing Launceston 2-1 at 13, and we've played 16 minutes of this opening term.
This is a really impressive start by Glenorchy. Their intensity at the ball is really high, and I'm actually thinking they're out winning the tactic battle here with this one person behind the ball. They're mixing it up with Matthew Joseph as well as Daniel Joseph, and they're just a little bit higher work rate at the moment.
And they're only trailing the inside 50s by 1 at 6-5 at the moment, Alex.
Yep. And
they're about even on the clearances. So in a lot of the team stats at the moment, they're doing well. Back in the middle, it's young Sam Bruniwood up against Cameron Duffy. And Duffy wins it again. Out here towards Rainbird, who can't pick it up. Taken instead by Denellen on the left foot, onto the outer side. Once again, apologies for the breeze in the microphones. Blustery here today on the balcony. Good work there from Glenorchy. Taken by Josh Arnold, kicked up towards half forward. Aganis can't take it. Player tackled there, got out of his head, Pigeon Webb. Goes left, goes right. And the white foot kick, or possibly mark, should have been taken there by James Webb. He gets the handball away. Taken there by Sam Berry. Ball, says the crowd. Berry again, quick kick, but can't find advantage. And Ryan Tyrrell, cross half back. He's having a good season, played well last week. And he's taken the mark, left half back. He wants to get it moving. He goes short, risky, not good. Clean bowls Berry, taken by Blackberry. There's one for us. Up towards half forward, clears the pack towards Joseph against Whiting. Now with the Glenorchy defence working overtime with Joel Millhouse there. He's on the ball. Quick handball by Sonny Whiting towards Smith. A lot of Glenorchy defenders there. Somehow comes out to Jack Rushton. If he gets clear, he'll snap on goal. Jack Rushton, right foot. He's got it. Great hard work there at half forward from Jack Rushton, the boy from Rochalee and East Coast Swans. And he scores the third goal for Launceston there, 3-1-19, Glenorchy 1-1-7. And there were so many Glenorchy defenders there, Alex, I don't know how he got free.
Well, Sam Lonigan's been a big rap for this guy since he's coming in as one of their big recruits. Now, it's actually him that made a really big tackle down on their half-back line, and he's worked really hard up to the forward line and got the loose ball and the quick snap. Clearly, that's why Sam's a big rap for him.
Yes, he certainly got a good work rate. He was terrific for the Blues last week, and he started off in that same mode today in this opening quarter. We've played just on 18.5 minutes of this the opening term. So Launceston probably needed that goal because Glenorchy, I think, have been on top the last 5 or 6 minutes. Ball's back in centre field as Bruniwood goes in against the big fella there and Duffy again. Launceston getting a little bit cleaner out of the centre of the field now as it comes to Kelly Mansell. He gets it on there now and the handball's over the top. Blues with an opportunity to get it through to Smith. He hurriedly kicks it, didn't really look what he was doing with it. Goes down in the Sonny Whiting direction. It's thumped away from him and it goes across the boundary line and there'll be a throw in right alongside of the behind post with Launceston, the Blues, kicking to the exit end of the ground here with the 8 of the Breeze in the opening term. And they currently lead 3-1 to Glenorchy's 1-1. Ball thrown in by the boundary umpire there. Nullified tap again. Almost taking it there was Arnold. It's kicked out though by the defender for the Magpies there. Then it's taken here now by Riley, who kicks it towards the true centre half forward position. Off the top is Blackberry. Blackberry handballs it out to a teammate who's beset upon by about 4 or 5 Glenorchy players. The ball goes to ground and you can bet there's going to be yet another toss-up. No, the umpire said it's come out the back. There was a hurried kick out there by a Launceston player who's put it out of bounds on the full against the behind post down there. I was blindsided there with a pack of about 10 or a dozen players. And the kick-in will be relieved by the big, sturdy fullback down there in Josh Grant.
Grant goes to half-back, off hands, quick kick forward there by Boyce, I think it was. Chaos ball, Rushton again. He's got another opportunity, Jack Rushton! 2 goals in the first quarter. Persistence again fell into his lap there and he just charged into goal. And that's another goal for the Blues. 4-1-25, Glenorchy 1-1-7.
Once again, Rushton, it was just work rate. He was actually high up on the ground there where the ball was kicked out. He worked back harder, and I'm not sure if anyone was actually on him or not, but whoever it was did not work back hard enough with him, and he just got an easy run into the open goal.
He's just got a bit of explosive pace too, isn't he? Like he can just break the tackle.
Yep.
I don't want to say Chris Judd, like I don't wrap him up too much, but he's just got that way of just getting out of congestion.
Yep, impressive.
Back in the centre, City Park Radio 103.7, 96.5, and via the Bupa TSL live stream, here's Barry Triffett.
Launceston 25, leading Glenorchy 7, as umpire puts ball back to turf again. Duffy gets yet another tap down, but the Blues are starting to shark those ruck work in the middle there at the moment. They've got it out of the middle the last 3 or 4 times, but it's snapped it away by Arnold. He's playing really well in the opening quarter. He kicks in towards the forward pocket down there. Ball breaks the ground level. Running onto it is Daly. Over the top of him, though, the Blues. The defenders are under the pump. Daly gets it back, kicks it towards the true centre half forward position, thumped the ground level. Ball breaks loose here. Opportunity for the Magpie and Bierman running through there. He kicks it towards the forward pocket. The ball bounces awkwardly, goes out of bounds. There'll be a throw in 20 metres around from the behind post. The Glenorchy side working extremely well against this breeze in the opening term, keeping right in touch with Launceston as we head towards what will be the time on period of this term. The ball is tossed in. And breaking through there with it was Webster, who appeared to be thrown to the ground. The umpire says advantage, though. You didn't dispose of it correctly. It's kicked deep and wide out to where Millhouse runs back onto it. He's got support there and his teammate running through in Quinn. Quinn gets it out a little bit wider. The Magpies is trying to do something here deep into the opening term as the ball comes towards half forward. The umpire has found a free kick and it's going to the Launceston player. Advantage has been allowed, and it ends up here with Rella Kelly Mansell. He twists and turns and puts himself back onto the left boot, gets it into the midfield there, and Shepherd marks nicely in centre field for the Blues. Kicks it out wide, and his teammate has marked it over there. And is that...
young Gillo, I think that's.
It's Gillo, is it? The little fella who played really well last week as well, as he gets up off the ground there now and then kicks out wide, and he's looking for Tyrrell, who's opened up pretty well in the opening term for the Blues as well. Decides to steady it down. He'll kick in towards the half-forward line in front of the club rooms over there where there's a good sprinkling of spectators. But the big fella, Duffy, Cameron Duffy, just too tall. He's taken 2 or 3 good strong marks out there around about that half-back line for the Glenorchy, and he will relieve and put it out wide, and they will get out of trouble again here now, the Glenorchy combination.
Up to the wing. Off hands taken by Mitch Rainbird. Gets a good call there from Camerick. Little handball to Webster. Working the well here, the Magpies. I'd love a goal just before quarter time. Short kick to Daniel Joseph. Getting a bit of it in this first quarter. Back at the Pies this year. Centre ground to Bierman. Bierman plays on immediately. Here looking for Callan Daly, who's got the sit, but not the height. And in front, taking the mark there, is Tom Shepherd, who's having a good first quarter. He judges a beautifully way to kick to Sonny Whiting. Hasn't got a lot ahead of him. Rulla Kelly Mansell provides the lead. Penetrating kick. Here's Rulla on the lead. Good kick from Whiting. Just falls at the bootlaces there of Kelly Mansell. He dives on it. Numbers win out with Connor Salter for Glenorchy. He kicks into the centre of the ground, and the mark's taken there by James Webb. He plays on, hesitates, then goes wider and finds Zach Webster. Webster marks on the wing. Into the centre of the ground. Almost a mark there. Not taken. Denellen lays the tackle there on James Webb. Boyce has it. Back to Shepherd. By hand now to Denellen, who's under pressure from Webster. Great tackle, Zach Webster. Or was it?
Back.
It wasn't a great tackle, Zach Webster, in the back.
Well, you and I thought it was a great tackle, Dave, but I don't think the umpire did.
Anyway, Jack Denellen, the back end of the centre circles. It's Launceston 4-1-25, Glenorchy 1-1-7. 24 minutes in. Not long left in the first quarter. Low kick. Knocked away by Braden Webb, the skipper for Glenorchy. He works hard underneath. Taking it now is Dylan Riley, ex-Devonport and South Launceston. Gets the handball away to the new player there, and Tyson Miller. Miller kicks it high. Sitting underneath it was Oakley. He couldn't take the mark. Tackled is Rainbird. Releases to Stevenson, who's also tackled. So now towards the half-forward flank, close to the boundary line. And umpire asks for deliberate. And no, this will be a boundary throw in right in front of the Lonnie Club Rooms. They lead by 18 points at the 25-minute mark.
Yes, getting close to quarter time here at Windsor Park. You're listening to live descriptions on City Park Radio, 103.7, 96.5 FM. as the ball comes to ground level over there again. A hurried kick out of there. I think it looked like Riley kicked it towards the half-forward line. It ricochets off a couple of players down there, and the umpire will throw it in right in front of the Launceston change in club rooms over there. Sprinkling of spectators on that outer bank there. Over there facing the Brews they are, as the ball's tossed in again, and Duffy starting to thump the ball now. And Agnes runs onto it there for the Blues as the siren sounds to complete the opening quarter here at Windsor Park. And Launceston, with the aid of the Blues in this opening term, have kicked 4 goals, 125. Glenorchy 117. The goal kickers for the Blues, Jack Rushton has kicked 2. He kicked them deep into that opening term. Malucci Garacomo, is that how we say?
Giacomo, close.
Giacomo Malucci has kicked 1, and so too has Brody Parafferman for the Launceston side. And Riley Oakley has kicked a single goal. The inclusion to he replaced Jay Bowden, who's not in the side this afternoon. If you've just joined us, he kicked the goal for Glenorchy against a fairly blustery and strong breeze.
Which you can hear in our microphones at the moment. Luckily, we're just a little bit sheltered from it, but get the occasional gust. Alex, your thoughts on the first quarter?
I think Glenorchy will be very happy with that. Their intensity and their effort's really high. I think they won the tactical one. Interestingly, they're loose in the back line. They were rotating through Matthew Joseph, Daniel Joseph, and at times Harrison Gunther. And I think that worked to their advantage. I find it really interesting what will happen in the second quarter, whether both teams structure up the same, or does Glenorchy put their extra in their back line up forward now to man that person, because that really worked for Glenorchy. Cameron Duffy's really taken control of the game in the middle. And Barry, I think it was you that said that in the Launceston midfielders are even starting to read it off his hands, so it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds. And I was really impressed with the start of Josh Arnold. He's actually looks like he's got a bit of a run with role as well. He got plenty of ball, as well as nullifying a bit of Jake Hines' influence that quarter.
Stats to quarter time, team stats. So just turn the effects mic off there. Glenorchy winning the hit-outs 18-3. Clearances, Launceston leading those 9-6. Inside 50s 9 apiece. Marks inside 51 apiece. And shots on goal 5 to Launceston, 2 to Glenorchy. We'll take a break here from Windsor Park. We're back in here in just a moment. The score 4-1-25 Launceston, Glenorchy 1-1-7. Launceston 4-1-25, leading Glenorchy 1-1-7, and the leading goal kickers to quarter time is Jack Rushton, has 2 for Launceston, and 1 each to Malucci and Paul Freeman, and for the Pies, 1 to Riley Oakley. And they've got another game in the north of the state today. It's North Launceston versus Lauderdale, and the TSL reporter there, and also reporting for City Park Radio, and our live stream is Mitch Jones. G'day, Mitch.
Your voice message is being converted.
Well, Mitch is obviously not there, so we won't get to Mitch. I'll get you those scores in just a moment. But Alex, how do you see the midfields going so far?
Well, Cameron Duffy's influence has been pronounced, so from there it's turned into a real scrap. And as we highlighted during that quarter, he was hitting it in nice and close, which made it heavily congested. And that's what Glenorchy just would have wanted in this quarter. That wind's quite gusty, can get up to 2 or 3 goals. Exactly what they want. I'll be interested to see in this quarter, does he now, like we discussed, start to hit it more into space, and can they run forward of the ball a little bit? Lots of numbers at that ball. I think times there was 8, 9, 10 from each team around it. Can it open up for Glenorchy and get it some easy scores, or does Launceston try and keep it congested this quarter as well?
That's right, and we talked about the big match-up between Thorpe there and big Josh Grant. Thorpe didn't get a lot of delivery in that quarter. It was a bit of a scrappy entries into the 50.
Yeah, it's funny. We say it's a 2 or 3 goal advantage wind and stuff, but it's only when you use the ball well. When Launceston got it out wide and they had easy entry into the 50, it looked good. But outside of that, with the pressure and the congestion, most of the ball going in was just bombed in. With the extra person as well, it made it quite hard.
Okay, we've got Mitch Jones on the line now from York Park, Utah Stadium. G'day, Mitch.
Yeah, how's it going? It's seems to be all one-way traffic down at UTAS. 7 unanswered goals to North Launceston. Lauderdale yet to hit the scoreboard.
Okay.
So daunting signs for Lauderdale.
And what are we at quarter time yet, Mitch?
Yeah, quarter time signs just rung now.
And you got some major goal kickers for us.
2 goals to Tommy Bennett, 2 goals to Brad Cox Goodyear, and then 4 single goal kickers.
Okay, and that score at quarter time?
46 to none.
Okay, 7-4-46 to yet to score. Any breeze advantage there, Mitch?
No, not a big breeze. Slightly North Launceston's way, but nothing too major.
Okay, so a big score line there at quarter time. Thanks, Mitch. We'll get back to you at half time.
Cheers.
That's Mitch Jones there for the TSL. He's a TSL reporter there, and a one-sided affair there. And, of course, that was a replay of last year's grand final. So we'll see if Lauderdale can make a game of it in this second quarter. We'll get out to our boundary riders in just a moment. Alex, you got a big TSLW game tomorrow?
Yeah, we're playing Tigers at Windsor Park here tomorrow. Looking forward to it. On paper, we should win, but we've actually got quite a few of our key players out. So, yeah, we'll see how that one goes.
And, the surface here is amazing, isn't it? We've had a fair bit of rain last few weeks, last few days, sorry. But it's come up a treat.
Yeah, so it is only May, so it will be a bit not quite as good come July and August, but, geez, back in the day, it used to be an absolute bog hole.
Has you'd agree with that?
Would I ever? Yes, I've been here when it's just been mud.
It's quarter time here. It's Launceston leading by 3 goals, and we've got our boundary riders down by the coaches' addresses there. And first of all, I think we're going to hear from Craig Boone. G'day, Craig.
How you going?
Not too bad. It's a bit windy down there, I can tell.
It certainly is, yeah. It's really affecting it out on the boundary here, but Launceston used it pretty well, picked it up better as the quarter went on there.
And any news from the huddles?
Yeah, so the Launceston message was that I felt Glenorchy's only goal came from a poor zone setup, and that they can avoid making errors. That's where they will stop them scoring. They said, Sam Monaghan said Glenorchy's big plus is their contested football, so Launceston have to work hard there and not take their foot off the pedal. But I feel that Glenorchy a bit slow.
And you got Chris there with you?
I have Chris on the Glenorchy huddle, so I'll hand over to him.
Yes, so the Glenorchy huddle coach was talking about watching the spare man for the Launceston side and to play. He wants his players to apply more pressure. He's talking about cyclones. He was talking about a player who's going to go for the ball and sort of nominate a player who's going to go. And he was very happy with that first quarter.
Okay, so we're interested to see now how Glenorchy goes with that breeze. Thanks, boys, in the boundary. Get back to you at half time. So, as you can hear, it's a bit breezy down there. It wasn't the greatest quality line, but the boys did their best. We're about to get underway in the second quarter. You're listening to City Park Radio 96.5 and 103.7 and via the TSL live stream. Umpire holds the ball aloft. About to get underway. As the siren sounds, here's Barry Triffin.
Yes, about to get underway in this second term. 25 Launceston, 7 Glenorchy. And as we always say, you need to watch the entire first half to get a real gauge on the conditions out there today. And the umpire's having a little bit of a bother as regards keeping the ball in the circle when they bounce it down. It's that blustery then. I think the wind actually grabbed it and took it, but he'll throw it up a lot more accurate, and he does. And the big fella for Launceston in Ronniewood got the tap down for the clear one for the first time today, but it goes in towards their half-forward line. It's all Glenorchy back there. They repel that attack and kick it towards centre wing on the broadcasting side of the ground, almost taken by Tyrrell. Goes to ground level, socket off the ground there and pushed forward by Arnold. Ball goes to ground. Players in there, they're just soccering it around. It's taken by Tyrrell again. This time gets a scrubby kick out of the half-forward line then a back kick back by Glenorchy has been marked nicely here by Savage. He's right in the centre of the ground. Now, what will he do? He's decided to try and switch, and he hasn't got a great deal on offer, so he kicks it deep and wide out there. Webster's there for the Magpies. Ball breaks to ground. Quick handball over the top from Rainbird. They're out of that defensive zone now, are the Magpies, and they're kicking towards half forward, looking for Walker. Comes over the back of the pack, though, and Launceston are there in numbers through Hines. Hines pinpoints a beautiful pass to Denellen. He swings onto the left boot. Kicks it here wide now towards Tyrrell, who's been pretty good so far for the Blues. He eludes a player. No, he doesn't. Yes, he will. No, he doesn't. Yes, he breaks out again on about the third or fourth occasion. Kicks towards half-forward line. The big fella's down there in Brunnywood, tries to punch it to the ground. It ends up, though, with Smith after a couple of handballs. Kicks in towards half-forward, and Thorpe, who was very quiet in the first term for the Blues, takes a nice safe chest mark, a size to play on. Stupidly, I'd have thought, against the Breeze, and Brady Quinn marks for the Magpies in the last line of defence. Opportunity there for the Blues. Went astray as the ball's repelled now out of defence for the Glenorchy side. Almost a one-handed mark to Walker. Goes over the back to where Hines is in there for the Launceston side. He's got the ball. As he's trying to get rid of it, the umpire said you got no hope, and he'll run in and throw it up right in front of the broadcasting position here on the half-forward line, down the Exeter end of the ground on the far side where the cricket ground is, if you're listening to us on radio, as the tap down from the big fella in Duffy puts it out wide. Handballs out quickly here from Rainbird. Goes to nobody in particular, though. Now a hurried kick out of there again by the Glenorchy players. Is thumped on quickly here by Oakley. Ball goes to ground level. Running onto it there now is Savage. Handballs over the top to Whiting. Whiting gets it on a little bit further to Miller, the inclusion. As the ball breaks to ground level, still in front of the broadcasting position here. Right now is a scrambly old passage to play. We've seen a bit of that today as the ball comes towards the boundary line, but it's taken here by Mott. Mott tries to get clear of the pack. He can't do so. A lot of players pile in, and eventually the umpire says, come on, fellas, I think we'll throw it up right in front of the broadcasting position. It's 25 Launceston, it's 7 Glenorchy, and we've played 3 minutes in the second term. Here's Dave Moore.
It's Sam Bruniwood up against Cam Duffy. Bruniwood gets this one down, and it gets towards Blackberry, but can't clear the area. So we have another ball up right in front of us here. So the camera not far away. Simon doing a great job as usual behind the lens. Bringing all the action of TSL footy on the live stream and also on the radio for City Park Radio. Here we go now. Tackling is James Webb. Falls to Denellen. Round the corner kick up the wing. Doesn't look. It falls to Brady Quinn, who's been solid across that half-back line. Funny old kick switching it. Might work out all right beautifully to Josh Grant. I'm sure he meant to do that as he picks it up nicely off his knees. Millhouse can't pick it up. Chance here for Boyce. He gets tackled. Goes in again to Joey Boyce with Millhouse. Trying to clear the area there was Savage. Player tackle to the ground for Glenorchy. We're going to have another ball up. Nothing to write home about in this first 4 minutes of the second quarter. Score remains at 4-1, 25 Launceston, 1-1-7 to Glenorchy. And hear that blustery wind once again. Bruniwood and Duffy. Duffy straight down to Mott, who gets caught with the ball. Tackled by Blackberry. As I think we're going to have another ball up. How many ball ups we've had? I think we've had about 4 this quarter. In fact, 6. Groobs is telling me. And inside 50s 2-1 so far. Launceston's way. Playing 4.5 minutes. Here's a chance now. Pofferman over the top. Looking for Sonny Whiting, who's up the ground. In the centre circle. Left foot delivery's not bad. And he finds Giacomo Malucci, who kicked that beautiful goal in quarter number 1. The leading player is Joe Boyce. It just sits up in the breeze. In fact, it's not Boyce. Wait till he turns around here. That's Matthew Spon who's taken the mark. Spon, he's got a short option in Smith, who's too far out to score. Takes it on the paint of 50. So crowded 50 ahead. Glenorchy, you've got numbers back. Thorpe up against Grant. No space for a lead. Jake Smith's going to back himself here. Now he goes a short kick. Doesn't get a lot of distance gained. But chance for a shot on goal. I believe that's Jade Blackberry. Yes, it is, as he turns around. So Jade Blackberry, former South Launceston, Western Storm, and now Launceston player. Had a great season last year. He's going to back himself to make the distance. Gone across 5.5 minutes in this second quarter. Going to deliver from just inside 50, 45-degree angle, Jade Blackberry. It swings away in the breeze, and it's a minor score. So Launceston 4-2, 26, Glenorchy 1-1-7.
Almost 6 minutes have elapsed in this second term, and not a great deal of action on the scoreboard thus far. Mainly the action's been with the field umpire having to toss the ball skyward on about 6 or 7 occasions. as the ball's taken out of defence and it goes out wide. It looks like Quinn out there in the last line for Glenorchy. Kicks it wide, centre wing, far side of the ground. Looking for Duffy. Is punched away from that play. Thrown out by the Launceston player. Umpire allows them to play on. Miller throws it out there as well. And then Glenorchy get a quick kick out. But the reliable Jake Hines, who was brilliant last week for the Blues, and he's been pretty good against thus far today, takes it and gets it on here to Kelly Mansell, who comes out wide. Gets it to the big Brewery centre half back in Vanderfield. And he marks right in front of the broadcasting position. Generally a good penetrating kick, taking plenty of time, looks over the top and finds Blackberry, who's come into the game in this the second term, fairly quiet in the first one. Kelly Mansell with the ball again with a nice little weighted left foot pass, gets it on down towards the centre wing position. And the Blues with an opportunity now through Dylan Riley to go into their attacking zone. Against the Breeze in this second term. There's his kick deep in towards the forward pocket. Gillow was at the back, thumped away from him. Running onto the ball in the front there was Brown. He's set upon though, but he's been tackled too high according to the field umpire. And I thought it might have been a good tackle from here, but he gets a free kick too high. There's his kick now in towards Thorpe. Thorpe uses his body to perfection. And the experienced one takes his first clean mark for the afternoon. Kicked 8 big majors last weekend for the Blues. Opportunity here right into the teeth of the Breeze. So it may test him a little bit. The ball might swing a little left to right as far as putting on the green is concerned. So we'll see what Thorpe can do here. Hasn't had too many touches today, Alex. This is probably his first clear kick for the day. So he hasn't had a great opportunity to judge the Breeze, but he's very experienced. There's his kick. He just steers it straight over the umpire's nostrils. And that's his first one for the day and Launceston's fifth. They're 5 goals to 32. Glenorchy are 1-1-7. That's a great result for the Blues against the Breeze at the 7 or 8 minute mark of this second term.
There's a real worry for Glenorchy, and I'm surprised they're letting this happen. Josh Arnold did a fantastic job on Jake Hines in the first quarter, nullifying his influence. They're actually letting Jake play loose behind the ball by himself, and he's had 3 or 4 pivotal moments in this quarter, and it's clearly setting him up. Plus Jay Blackberry getting involved is Glenorchy need to lift their effort again.
So once again we see the team that is into the Winters having the more inside 50s, which is interesting. They've had 3 to Glenorchy's 1 in this quarter so far through 8 minutes. Kick inside to 50 now for Glenorchy. Is Webb this way, that away. Gets caught by Boyce. Gets the releasing handball. Over here was James Webb. He might release for goal here. Pulls the trigger, James Webb. Swinging around nicely. Great goal to James Webb. He kicked that one from about 45 on the boundary line. And that's a badly needed goal for the Pies with the Breeze. 2-1-13. Glenorchy to Launceston 5-2-32.
That's all class. So with that loose behind the ball there, it forced Glenorchy to go out wide. James Webb took on 2 or 3 tackles there, got onto his left foot and used the wind to kick the goal. Sometimes those moments need to happen to break the game open. So let's see if Glenorchy can get a roll on now.
And great strength from Braden Webb too there, Alex. He broke the tackle there of Joey Boyce and managed to release the handball.
Yeah, Joey Boyce is pretty strong too. So yeah, no, it's good.
Back in the middle, and it's Launceston leading by 19 points. It's a goal apiece in this second quarter. Bruniwood up against Duffy. Duffy gets it down to only as far as Riley to Denellen. Great link up here to Savage to Bruniwood. Bruniwood blind handball straight to Zach Webster. Maybe a bit of an experience there. He's given it up, but Webster is beset upon by his fellow number 3 in Blackberry. And in fact, it's a free kick to Blackberry for holding the ball against Zach Webster. As they flood back, both teams. Goes wider to Rowlett Kelly Mansell. Playing up the ground a fair bit today with Sonny Whiting in the side. Short to Smith. Takes a lot of marks, Jake Smith. He works hard, great aerobic capacity. He's far too far out to score into this stiff Breeze. He might have to go long here, looking for a big mark. Thorpe's there, but there's about 5 Glenorchy defenders in front of him, and taking the mark is Harrison Gunther. He'll relieve from the back line.
Yes, Gunther kicks it towards the big Duffy, and the big ruckman marks on half back. And he's shaving as one of the better players on the ground thus far. There's his kick, centre wing, broadcasting side of the ground. Over the back there was Hine, who dropped what he probably should have taken. Ball at ground level, getting in underneath it there is the experienced Savage. They can't get the ball out, so the umpire said, come on fellas, we'll throw it up on centre wing. Now, if Glenorchy get this out of there, there's only one player forward of them to be able to kick the ball to, and there's the tap down. Ends up towards Denellen. It goes straight up in the air. It comes down there. Rushton was in there again. Kicked 2 goals in the opening quarter. Taken by Daly. Kicks it out of defence. Kicks towards centre wing. Drops mark there by Tyrrell. Ball goes to ground level. Glenorchy players, a Launceston player on the bottom, as well as looks like Casey Brown. Yep. And he's been pinned for holding the ball. Don't know how much prior opportunity he had, but as long as the umpires are consistent, that's all we ask for. Taken away by the skipper. Handballs it out quickly here to Webster, who's been under the pump all day. Kicks it towards the top of the goal square. Taken away there by Kelly Mansell. Gets it off to Joey Boyce. He threw the ball out of there. Surely umpire. No, that he's allowed to play on. Ends up in the goal square. Dropping the ball. Yes, it is indeed a beautiful tackle applied there by Launceston's Blackberry, who's been terrific in the second term. Gets it out wide, and the Blues get out of trouble through Dylan Riley. No. It's out of bounds on the full, yes. Boundary umpire in perfect position. So with the binoculars, is that Webb out there?
Still wait and see, Baz. I think it might well be.
His backside's up against the fence anyway, and he's just right about on.
I think it's Josh Arnold. I'll go with that, and I'll back myself.
Right, he's right on the 50 metre. Front on to us, of course, so a little bit difficult to pick up some of the Glenorchy players. We don't see them all that often, and they look alike, but there's the kick off the top of the pack, and goes through for a minor score. So Glenorchy at 2-2-14, Launceston a 5-2-32. We've played 12 and a half minutes of this, the second term.
I think it might have brushed the behind post, Baz, because it's a boundary throw in. As Parker's there for Glenorchy, taken by Denellen, kick straight into James Webb, back to Denellen, second opportunity, round the corner to half back, taking the mark as Harrison Gunther. Comfortably there on his chest. He might switch or he might go long. He's going to go to the hot spot. There's lots of Blues defenders there, including Raleigh Kelly Mansell, who takes the mark. Switches straight away to Tyrrell. I'm really impressed with this young man. A lot of possessions. Across that half-back line. He steadies himself. He's right on the boundary line, a millimetre inside as he delivers the kick. Up here to Gillow, 1-on-2. Gillow thumps it over the back. Although it's taken now by Connor Salter, who kicks towards half forward, only as far as Brown. Now they're away here, Launceston, although he stops. He doesn't go on. He has to handball sideways to Boyce. Tries to get the outlet to Raleigh Kelly Mansell, but it's smothered. Arnold's got it. He kicks inside 50 blindly. It might go over the top for a goal. No, it's taken by Van der Velde, who chips the ball towards the boundary line and finds the sanctuary. Not deliberate, says the umpire. So it'll be a boundary throw in right in front of the club rooms. 5-2-32, Launceston 2-1-13, Glenorchy.
Slightly different interpretation of the rule compared to the big fellas over in the AFL. I'm sure they would have made that deliberate. There's the throw in there right on 50 on the outer side in front of the Launceston club rooms. Ball is thumped to nobody in particular. Glenorchy player who did take possession has been set upon by about 3 Launceston Blues players, and the umpire will have no option but to throw it up.
4 inside 50s apiece this quarter. Clearances 5 to Launceston, 3 to Glenorchy.
Well, it's right in front of the chain sheds for Launceston. Ball at ground level. It's a hurried kick out of the pack that goes straight to the boundary line, and it'll be tossed in alongside of the behind post. And it's Launceston 5-2-32, Glenorchy 2-1-13. I called that one a little bit premature, come off the hands, thought it went through for a point, that last snap, but it obviously touched that big bulky packing on the side of the behind post there as the ball's been thrown back in. Ugly here again for Blackberry. He's been terrific in this second term. His kick, though, is not all that good. It goes straight towards Quinn, who drops what he should have taken. Glenorchy, though, with an opportunity and a big long bomb out of there. Almost a goal, I was about to say, but it didn't quite carry. And it's taken by Dylan Riley, who's been good again for the Blues today in the last line. Oh, his kick was put his teammate under a lot of pressure, but he got away with it. So the Blues now looking downfield. And that is Savage. Savage with the ball. Kicks it towards half back. You can see that hold up in the wind. Riley was on the front there now. The quick hands out of the pack. Ends up there with Kelly Mansell. He kicks towards half forward, and floating in front there now is Jack Stevenson. He takes it for Glenorchy. Runs in towards half forward and then kicks it towards the top of the goal square. Comes off the top of the pack. Blackberry's at the back of the pack. Handballs over the top there to Jake Hines, and the ball trickles out of bounds. And for about the 5th time now on that outer pocket, the ball will be thrown back in by the boundary umpire.
Boundary throw in right in front of the Launceston club rooms. So the wind obviously affecting today's game, making the skill level difficult. Listening to City Park Radio, thanks to our Sponsored Telstra stores in the Quadrant Mall in Kings Meadows. And also watching the Bupa TSL live stream. Here's Jack Donnellan. He can't take possession. A lot of players around the ball. Been a lot of talk in the AFL recently about this as Zach Webster works it out. There's a kick here towards Webb. One hand. Can't take the second. Taken by Kelly Mansell. Once again, Webb is in there. That's Braden Webb. The skipper can't break free. Ball up about 15 metres out from the Glenorchy goal. They trail by 19. It's a goal apiece in this second quarter. And Launceston will try and clear the area here. There's a snap for goal by Daly. That's a goal. And the ball got knocked down right to the lap there of Daly. And he found space where I didn't think there was any. Smashed it onto the boot. And it went straight through the middle. And that's another goal to Glenorchy. 3-1-19. Launceston 5-2-32 and a bit of a goal out of nothing there, Alex.
Well, I'll be interested to see who that tap. I don't know if it was Duffy that made it down there, but that was just a fantastic. That was a set play. That's what set that up.
Well, Dave Gruber, our stats man, who watches the taps intently, he nods and says it was Duffy who got that beautiful tap down to Daly. So great ruck work there from Cameron Duffy. He's one of the better players on the ground, Bass.
Yes, he certainly is. And the ball was in that forward pocket for about 3 or 4 minutes. Something had to happen, didn't it? Because Glenorchy kept pushing it back. Throw in, something had to happen, and eventually it did. And Glenorchy keep in touch as we get towards the last few minutes of the second quarter here at Windsor Park. And the courage kick out of the pack has been marked by Shepherd, who's gone a little bit quieter in this term. Gets it over the top now to Rushton. He runs onto it, but he's been beaten by the Glenorchy player back there who handballs over the top. Can they get this out through numbers towards the boundary line? It's back there again, I think, with Millhouse.
Yep.
And the ball is kicked out hurriedly, but Hines takes it for Launceston. That's a kick that'll bounce awkwardly for everybody back there. The defender in Salter runs onto it, and the big fella strides out of defence and then kicks it over the top. It's a little bit long for his teammate, but fortunately it might bounce okay. Is it too high, that tackle? No, the umpire in perfect position said, in fact, you're holding the ball. And there'll be a free kick to Launceston's big, tall, lean Kelly Mansell. He looks extremely tall in a Launceston top. Taller than what I remember him back at South Launceston and then at Prospect. I think he had a year at Deloraine in between.
Yep.
And there's the kick there now from Brown. He will just chip it over the top, looking for and finding the experienced Tom Shepherd. Now the Blues just content to hold the ball up here at the moment. You can see they're just saying, now come on fellas, let's settle down a little bit. Jake Hines, we can eat a bit of the clock up here and keep hold of the ball at the same time. Taken away there now by Tyrrell. He kicks it towards Whiting. He marks. They've had about 6 possessions here, and they haven't travelled all that far. If you're listening to us on radio, they're going to the town end, and they're on the broadcasting side of the ground. And Whiting doesn't know what to do with it. There's no running on offer for him now, so he kicks it with the left foot after he was put under the pump, and the kick's a shocker. It's punched and kicked out of defence, but it comes back to Tyrrell. Launceston have it again, and the little chip over the top, looking for and finding Jack Donnellan will be a positive for them. Then he kicks it on to Jack Hines, and they switch it now, do the Blues. Go right across the ground to Van der Velde, who's away out there on the outer wing. He'll handball to his teammate there in Savage. The experienced one now just steadies, kicks it in towards half forward. Bounces beautifully there as it's kicked out over the top again, looking for Brown. He's been pretty good in this term, but he's been adjudicated now as dropping the ball. I think there'll be advantage to Glenorchy. No, the umpire said it will come back. Amazes me sometimes that they pay advantage, and other times they make the players return to where it came from. So it's taken by Berry. He kicks it out wider, and the Glenorchy Magpies are on the half-back line at the 19.5-minute mark of the second term.
Brady Quinn kicks long with the breeze, up to half forward. Tackled there, I think, was Duffy, the big fella. Van der Velde on the bottom of the pack. Releases now to Donnellan. It's almost like a rugby maul there as Donnellan gets 5 metres, and then that's another ball up. Interesting there, Alex, they didn't give Mitch Thorpe any space to lead into, and the Launceston players had to keep switching to try and get that long kick into Thorpe.
Yeah, yep. We'll talk about it in a minute.
Yep. So we'll get another stoppage in a minute, no doubt, as out comes Bruni Wood. Gets the handball to Kelly Mansell. He's been good today. To Thorpe, back to Kelly Mansell. He's playing an on-ball roll. Takes a bounce in the centre of Windsor Park. Kicks up here towards Thorpe, who rises high against 2. His recovery is good. Gillo's in there. He copped one high. He gets up. Paul Freeman, Whiting working hard. He releases the ball. Good tackle by Rainbird. Duffy looking for a handball release. Finds one now in Brady Quinn. Goes wide here looking for Ben Camerick, who takes the mark. And well worked out there from the Magpies. Camerick now cruising around the mark. He's invited to play on. Tended to by Brown. Kicks close to the boundary line to Mitch Walker, who's been quiet today. Tackled by Riley. And the former Tiger, not penalised. Kicked a big bag earlier in the season, did Mitch Walker. And he's just been not had a lot of opportunities today. Bruniwood against Walker. Bruniwood wins it down, but Walker sharks it. Rainbird releases the handball. Kicks off the ground. Blackberry can't pick it up. And we'll get another stoppage. Chance for Alex for that space inside the attacking 50 for the Blues.
Yeah, this has all been played on Launceston's terms. Rullakilly Mantle's playing up the ground, and his direct opponent zoning off back onto Thorpe.
Yeah, he's enjoying that freedom day, I think, Ruller, as Hines gets a quick kick, but straight to Daniel Joseph, not 15, play on. Tackle by Rush, and he breaks it. Look away handball to Rainbird, who throws on the boot with a Torp-type kick inside 50. To it first is Riley. He taps it over the top here to Aganis. Jimmy Aganis tries to get back to Boyce. Turnover though. Daly gets free, gets round one, gets the handball off. Snap on goal is a good one. And that's Millhouse. Joel Millhouse for Glenorchy. Great work inside 50 again from Callan Daly. He backed himself, he broke a tackle. Millhouse was the man in support. And he scores the 4th goal for Glenorchy.
I'm finding the tactics really interesting here. This is all Launceston are doing, taking all the risks, taking it out wide, doing all the switches, yet they're kicking it in the wind. First time Glenorchy looked to kick it into space and run and spread, they get a scoring shot. It's happened both teams going with the wind for some reason, have not looked to open up the space enough.
Yeah, 7 inside 50 to Glenorchy now to 4 in this second quarter. Clearance is about even, and I tell you what, the hit-outs are about even as well. So young Sam Bruniwood is starting to match Cameron Duffy in the ruck. Baz, over to you.
7 points of difference at the 22.5-minute mark as we head towards half-time. We said we'll find out about the win by the half-time break, and it's pretty even as Blackwell sockers it off the ground. Rushton's the player trying to pick it up. Taken away there by Camerick. He couldn't quite deal with the ball positively either. Another one of these scrubby old passages of play that's taking place out there at the moment, and that was Joseph who tried to put boot the ball, smothered off his back. Blackwell's back in there again. The umpire has found that you threw it, I think. So the player on the bottom of the pack is Blackberry rather, getting up off the bottom of the pack, and he's been adjudicated as throwing the ball. Gunther has it for the Magpies. Now what can they do this time? They've got it on the outer back flank now. Relayed kick, went out there to Mott, and away goes out of defence there now, and then kicks towards the big fella who marked strongly on the that area in Duffy in the first quarter, but he couldn't take that one. It ends up over the back there now with Riley. Handball's off to Joe Boyce. He kicks it out of defence, and it ends up with Ryan Tyrrell on the half-back for the Blues.
He's been impressive, Alex.
Yeah, just a bit of a change-up for Launceston too. Jake Hines has gone up on the ball, which is it's released Dylan Riley loose in the back line.
Well, the ball's on centre wing on the far side of the ground. Sonny Whiting has the ball now. He's kicked it to nobody. He's just let fly with it. It's gone towards, I can hear a whistle. Is it out of bounds? No, the umpire's found a free kick downfield. I was watching the flight of the ball, didn't quite see what happened, but Mitch Thorpe is the recipient of the ball there. Too far out to score. He's about 80 metres from goal. He'll be kicking into the breeze, and he hasn't got much on offer. The ball relayed back to him gave all the defenders of Glenorchy time to drop into the space, and it's taken away out there on the outer side by Jack Stevenson. Stevenson on half-back, invited to play on by the umpire, kicks it to that outer wing once again. There's the big pack. Duffy thumps it out of the pack, but Launceston at the fall of the ball. Someone's got a bandage on their head out there now for the Launceston side.
Young Tyson Miller.
Young Miller, the inclusion. And the ball goes towards the half-forward line. Rushton's there again with the bright red boots. He's been set upon by a couple of Magpie players, and the umpire said you had prior opportunity. You tried to break through a wall of Glenorchy players, and you didn't perfect that, my boys. So there's going to be a free kick across that half-back line again for Glenorchy. 25 minutes into this term, Dave, so we're not too far away from half-time, and the margin is 7 points in favour of the Blues.
Reece Mott gets it further afield, and the mark's taken there by Glenorchy. Invited now to play on. There's up to half forward. Vanderveld in the van. He doesn't quite take it. On the ground. Chance for Glenorchy. That's Mitch Walker. He's tackled. Aganis is in there. Shovels it out. Well done, Vanderveld to Boyce to Savage. And that was great defence from the Blues. Up to half forward over the back. Great mark. Connor Sold impressed with his game, although he mucks it up here, but he gets his handball smothered. Matthew Sponder half forward. Thorpe one out with Grant. Thorpe tries to shield the ball. Gets it now to Giacomo Malucci, who's tackled. Back to Thorpe. He might launch it goal here. He doesn't. Measures it nicely to Rushton. Takes the mark. Oh, siren. If he'd have gone back, he could have had a set shot on goal. And he carries out a little bit of frustration there in the afters. But hard to blame the young man. He was going to back himself to run into goal. He wasn't to know the siren was about to sound. Alex, was a bit of a tough one there for young Jack Rushton.
Yeah, they've all gone to Mitch Thorpe here, all the Glenorchy players.
Yep, there's a little bit of a to-do here at half forward. I think it's breaking up now. It's been played in pretty good spirits so far. Anyway, half-time score, Launceston 5-2-32, Glenorchy 4-1-25. And Baz, you got the goal kickers.
Yes, fairly low goal scoring in the opening half, of course, with Jack Rushton kicking 2, both in the first quarter. Giacomo Malucci kicked 1 in the opening term, and so did Brodie Parafferman, and Mitch Thorpe kicked their only goal in that second term against the Breeze. And for the Glenorchy combination, they're all singles, and 3 of them kicked in the second quarter, one by Callan Daly, James Webb, and old Joel Millhouse, and in the opening term, Riley Oakley, who was an inclusion into the side today when Jay Bowden didn't take his place, kicked 1 in the first quarter. So fairly even encounter at half-time, just a 7-point margin.
You're listening to City Park Radio 103.7 and 96.5 and via the Bupa TSL live stream. And we'll have scores from around the grounds, we'll have the stats from Dave Gruber, and we'll have his analysis of the game for Alex Gibbons. We're going to have a chat to Alex too at half-time about women's football in Tassie, so stay tuned for that. But for now, here's some messages from City Park Radio. Quality's bad, I don't know. Grand final replay between North Launceston and Lauderdale. Mitch, at quarter time, it was a massive margin to the Northern Bombers. What happened in the second quarter?
It's just approaching half-time here now, and Lauderdale came out firing and kicked, I think, 6 scoring shots this quarter, but North Launceston had matched it late in the quarter here, still leading by 61 points.
Okay, so you got the exact score for us there?
Yeah, we've got 12-5-77 to 2-4-16.
No worries, mate. And the major goal scorers till half-time, or close to half-time?
Tom Bennett's got 3 to his name, Zach Burt's got 2, and Brad Cox-Goodyear also 2.
And obviously Lauderdale came out and played much better in that second quarter, but North Launceston have come off the bye and looks like they're firing still.
Yes, they've been very strong. so far today.
Yep, no worries, mate. We'll catch up with you again at 3/4 time. Mitch Jones there at UTAS Stadium, and the Bombers leading by about 10 goals there at half-time. Got a score here in the independent schools at 3/4 time. St Pat's 71, Scotch Oakburn 36. And at Twin Ovals, I looked at a little time ago. I think this was half-time, quarter time maybe. Clarence 49-33 to the Tigers, 3 behind, 3 points. So comfortable lead there to Clarence. Alex, you got the team stats there. I'll get to the AFL in a minute, Baz. You're checking there, so keep that up your sleeve.
Yeah,
who do you back again? Who's your AFL team?
I'm not saying.
Ah, come on.
Yeah, just some interesting stats in that quarter, and that whole half was a tale of 2 quarters, but not how you'd think. It was the team kicking into the win. I thought really butchered the ball. Each team played an extra behind the ball in defence, but all we did was kick it long. Both teams kick it long into the forward line. It made it impossible, and that was known by marks inside 50 for the whole half. Were only 6 combined for both teams. Kicking it long with the outnumbers. I mean, we've got to look to go out the other side. We've got to look to switch. We've got to get a look to space and kicking it out wide. Yeah,
I think you're right. I mean, the blustery conditions, the players very congested. It wasn't, the ball wasn't pinging from end to end, was it?
No, it wasn't. But when it's blustery and all that, why are we kicking it 30 metres up in the air, 50 metres long? Why aren't we looking to hit 1, maybe 2 small passes into the forward line?
Okay, AFL scores. Let's have a look at that. We've got Eagles 7-7-49, the Giants 5-8-38. And you're doing it right, Baz. It's 5-6-36 to 5-2-32, the Blues. So it's only a 4-point difference. It's a big game, really, for those two teams, isn't it?
Oh, it certainly is, Dave, but early days, isn't it? But
who were some of your better players till half-time there, Alex?
I didn't think the second quarter got into really great heights, to be honest with you. I thought Launceston would be very, very happy with how it was played out. Jake Hines, for me, in that quarter really took over. He was playing loose behind the ball, which I just don't think Glenorchy can allow to have someone with his skill. And Jay Blackberry looked quite threatening that quarter with some pretty important disposals as well. So they were probably the better two of the second quarter, I thought.
And for the Pies?
And for the Pies, Cameron Duffy, you'll have a look at the headouts there. He has continued on. 29 to 11. The clearances, is 17 to Launceston to 14. So, he's hitting the ball. Is he hitting it to advantage, though? I think I called you at quarter time, Barry. I said this team hit it into space in the second half. I didn't see that happen.
No.
Once again, they looked for congestion, even though they were going with the wind. But his presence around the ground took a couple of key marks in that first quarter, and he also was instrumental in that goal with that nice clean tap in there. So Cameron Duffy, for me, would be the best for Glenorchy.
And for explosive efforts too, Baz, he doesn't get a lot of the ball, but Callan Daly, isn't he an excitement machine when he gets it inside 50?
Oh, he certainly is. And there's been a few today that have been explosive for 5 or 10 minutes, and then they just go right out of the game. It's just one of those games, isn't it? Where like the big fellas just haven't got a chance to dominate because of the blustery conditions, and the little fellas at ground level, they're in and out. But when you've got pace and you're in a game such as today, then you're always going to stand out on occasions throughout the game.
And another player that, another group of players that I'm really impressed with today is that Launceston backline. We saw them last week, Dylan Riley, Jimmy Aganis.
Yeah,
they really team well down that backline.
Yeah, they work in numbers, don't they? I mean, when they get the ball, then they never appear to be totally 100% under pressure. They've always got that little bit of time, and their teammates are making space, creating the openings, and when they do, they go together. They never ever go just as singly. And again today, as you just suggested, they're doing a terrific job across that area.
We're going to get to Matthew McGee in a moment. In fact, I think he's on the line right now. Matthew McGee was down at the Twin Ovals today to look at the 5th game for the Mariners in their series against the different academies. And today they were taking on the GWS Giants. And Macca, another win for the Tassie Mariners.
Yeah, g'day, Fonzie. You got me there, mate?
Yes, I have.
Just rolling the chariot back up the highway, mate. Yes, it was a really good win. 7-goal win to the Mariners down at Twin Ovals today, but they didn't have it all their own way. The Giants came out firing in the first half. They in the first quarter especially, they probably should have been about 5 goals up, the Giants, and missed a couple of shots with a slight breeze. But it was the Taron Thomas show again, Foz. You'll be pleased to hear, mate. It was the Taron Thomas turned it on again.
Tell us more details, Macca. How many did he kick for the day?
Well, as I said, the game was very much in the balance early, and it didn't reach any great heights in the second quarter either. And then Darren got the ball on the string and kicked two 2 in 30 seconds. He kicked 3 for the half, just before half-time. And he ended up kicking 5 for the game. He kicked 1 in the third and also an absolute spectacular one in the fourth. So 5 goals for Tarrant.
Who else impressed you for the Mariners, Macca?
Oh, look, it was like it probably has been all year for the Mariners, a very even team performance, but Tarrant was obviously the star. Chase Jones came right into the game in the second half, in particular the third quarter. Tim Auckland controlled the ruck. He was very dominant in the ruck. The Burnie player in Ethan Jackson, he was very solid through midfield, got a bit of an injury and came back on. Blair Rubach, as he does, popped up for 3 goals. And I also thought Mitchell Anderton, the small defender, he had a pretty good game as that back pocket player.
And the condition of the Twin Overs, Macca, we know there was something like 170 mils in Kingston during the week. Surely those ovals, they must have felt the effects of that, or were they well drained?
We're so lucky here in Tassie. Our young boys are so lucky, and our TSL players are so lucky to play on great ovals. You wouldn't have known that at 170 mils down at Kingston. It's rained beautifully, a little bit soft, but no wet patches at all. A little bit of a breeze, but a beautiful oval to play on. So the Mariners, they go through the Academy Series undefeated, and hopefully now a few players from the Mariners get picked in the Allies squad. Will come together in a couple of weeks to take on the Division 1 sides.
Baz has got a question for you, Macca.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, Macca, young Jamison House, how did he perform today after his great showing here for the Blues last week?
Well, unfortunately, Baz, Jamison House was a late withdrawal. He was quite ill.
Oh, okay.
So he didn't play. He was named, but he didn't play. And also Ryan Mansell, the North Launceston player, he didn't play either. He had a slight calf strain. So they had a couple of late changes. It was really good, though, to see young Ben Simpson, someone we've seen on City Park Radio, come up through North Launceston. He played his first game for Tassie today.
That's Marcus Simpson's son?
That's him.
Yep.
And look, he acquitted himself really well. As a 17-year-old, stepping up to that class was really good.
And Macca, finally, Lance Sporting must be, and his support staff, must be over the moon about how the Mariners have performed this year.
Yeah, look, it's a long campaign for Lance and Hilsey and the other support staff. They start way back in September, October, building together a list, and really only for 5 games as a Mariners squad. And look, full compliments to them. Lance, he leads from the front. He's the old school. He hasn't got too many tactics. He just gets the boys to play for the map, and they certainly do. And they were very, very jubilant after the final siren.
Cheers, Macca. Thanks for that, and safe rest of your journey. And tune in to City Park Radio and have a listen to the second half here.
Oh, yeah, mate. I'm driving up the highway. Yeah, good call.
Cheers, Macca. Thanks for that. The Mariners today, big winners over the GWS Academy. So that's Matthew McGee there. And talking about the Twin Ovals, Alex, you would have been down there quite a bit. Obviously, the Tigers have got a team in the TSLW. Impressive setup there, isn't it?
The whole setup's fantastic. It's actually one of our, if not the favourite, apart from our home ground here at Windsor, favourite ground to play on. The surface is almost like artificial turf. Really promotes fast, free-flowing football. No, very, very impressive place. Okay, let's we'll get our boundary riders on the line fairly soon. We might just repeat the half-time score here for people who've just joined in. And at half-time here at Windsor Park, it's Launceston 5-2-32 lead, Glenorchy 4-1-25. Just on the TSLW, mate, congratulations last year, of course, in winning the premiership. This year, it's shaping up a little bit as a competition of 3 teams and 2 teams that are struggling a bit. Why do you think that's come about? Any reasons behind that? There's no real reason behind it. Burnie won the premiership a couple of seasons ago. Since then, they've had some really good stories of girls being drafted to the AFL, their higher end talent. And then a couple others have moved on to their local regional competition. They're just in a rebuilding phase. Unfortunately, I reckon they're probably still a couple of years away, but sometimes that's what happens.
Yeah. And what part do you play as one of those 5 teams in the development of women's football in Tassie? What sort of resources you are able to get to bring the girls through to that level?
We're very mindful of development, and my assistant coach, his name's Brett Sweeney, he's been very influential for quite a few years throughout the Launceston area. So it's things like going to schools. We're promoting the under-17 and under-13 local girls competitions and being involved in that in some capacity as well.
And hasn't women's football taken off, Baz? Look, at just the last 2 or 3 years, the number of teams, the number of girls competing of all ages has just really exploded.
Yes, it certainly has, and I think that all came about when they started showing it on television, and a lot of the girls got the idea and the inkling that they could probably go out there and play just as well as some of those players and start to aspire to it. And back at NTJFA level now, there's a lot of girls playing, and I've been going along there because I've got 3 granddaughters actually all playing.
Yep.
I'd never thought 10 years ago that I'd be watching my granddaughters play Aussie rules. I thought the 3 grandsons, who were younger, mind you, and hopefully they will. One of them's playing now, young Joseph. He's out there having a kick. But it's just fantastic to see them playing, you know, and they play a good brand of footy, and the kicking and the handballing from last season to this season has improved. I would say they're kicking the ball 10-15 metres longer, and their handball is a lot more accurate. Last year there was a lot of scrubby type, you know, kicks out of anywhere. Now they're getting their head up, they're having a look. They've really started to pick the game up and embrace it, and it's just going ahead in leaps and bounds.
You can turn around that quickly too, the skills that you're talking about. The growth that you talk about, I mean, there's been a fair bit of negativity around Tasmanian football over the last however long. We all know the dramas we've had and stuff, but the good story is the female growth.
Yep.
Under 3 years ago, we had 7 teams, all age groups around the whole state. 2.5 years on, all age groups is now 85. Next year they have over 100.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
incredible. And Alex,
yep.
just a question from me. How does the Launceston Footy Club with the ladies or the women's side of it tee in with this North Melbourne Academy? How does all that work just for the local people up there?
It's just finding its way this year. A very good story overnight was a Clarence girl named Maddie Smith's just been signed on, been drafted to North Melbourne. And our very own Daria Bannister, who played for Western Bulldogs last year, is also signed on for North Melbourne overnight. The way it works is they have an academy where they have fitness programs, strength and conditioning, as well as their club trainings, and that's conducted through North Melbourne. We've had the North Melbourne senior coach come down to our trainings a couple of times. They've got quite a high presence at the moment, and they've quite invested in the football in the state.
Half-time here at Windsor Park at Launceston 5-2-32, Glenorchy 4-1-25. And we've got our boundary riders down there, Craig Boone and Chris Say. I think they're out of the wind this time. G'day, Booney.
G'day, Dave. Yeah, hopefully you can hear us a bit better this time out of the breeze. We've got a bit of a sheltered area. So I went in the Launceston rooms, but unfortunately didn't get access again. So obviously part of the Launceston coaching policy that they take the boys in behind closed doors no matter what the score is, and did request access, but unfortunately didn't get that. So I haven't got a lot to add at the moment, so I'll hand over to Chris.
Yeah, Paul Kennedy was a bit more open with his team. He reckons that Launceston are going to hit the boundary line this quarter. They're going to do the switch. So he wants his forwards to use the corridor as much as he can and then watch for the Launceston switch. Still talking about the forwards doing cyclone leads. So nominate a player who goes for the lead and sort of lead out in a cyclone fashion. And watch out for number 31 for Glenorchy, Millhouse, was dropped with an elbow to the stomach by Ryan Tyrrell. So he didn't finish the...
No worries. Keep in touch with us and we'll hear from you again at 3/4 time.
Will do.
That's our boundary riders down there, Craig Boone and Chris Sayer. Just some of the individual Lonnie players. Thanks to the boys Darren Lovell and Damien Donnelly from the Lonnie Footy Club, just giving us some of the Launceston player stats. Denellen, 16 possessions. Tyrrell, 15. Kelly Mansell, 16 possessions. So a lot of... I think he's really enjoying, as I said during the call, Alex, that freedom of not being a key forward, of getting around the ground. Does his best work in space. Also Hines with 11 possessions, Boyce with 8, Dylan Riley with 14, Jay Blackberry 13. So a lot of players getting a fair bit of the ball. As there's those sirens again, they're right next to us here. Bit of a piercing blow. You don't quite expect that they're going to come, Baz, at that siren.
No, I've got one more quick question for Alex,
sure.
if I can, while they're just going into position. A young sports person like Courtney Webb, is it Courtney Webb? Courtney Webb, who's currently, I think, away playing cricket.
Yeah, just returned from the Australian under-18 team, vice-captain.
Okay, so my question is, will the time come when she has to make a decision, I want to play football, I want to play cricket? Is that the way we're heading, or will she be always be able to play both sports?
I hope not. because that happened in males football not long ago, and we've probably robbed ourselves of some growth with certain people. But yes, it is starting to go that way.
Yeah.
I might just hand over to you guys.
No worries, as we've got a little bit of action here. Before the ball is bounced, a little bit of a slight, I don't think you'd call it a melee, just a bit of pulling of jumpers, but separating now.
Got a good idea for this quarter, kicking with the win Launceston. We talked about them going wide, switching, using their skills, which they will. What about putting Mitch Thorpe up nice and high and having a little mosquito fleet around and running onto open ball into space? Let's see if that happens this quarter.
Now, if you recall back to the beginning of the game, I mentioned that the radar said that would be the peak of the wind, and I think it's dropped away a little bit already as to what we mentioned then. So Launceston, with this in the third term, will need to set up a reasonably substantial lead, you would think, at three-quarter time. The bounce was a little awkward, but Duffy gets the first, and he put his fist to that, which is interesting. It didn't go all that far, but it's gone to ground level, and the Glenorchy player that actually jumped on the ball has been thrown to the ground. And I think it's the skipper there in Baden Webb. And the umpire puts it up again, and the big fella Duffy gets another tap down. Doesn't go to anybody in particular. Circulating is the field umpire, and yes, there will be another throw up in the opening seconds of this, the third term. Launceston going to the Exeter end of the ground, 32. They lead by 7 points. 7 points over Glenorchy, who are going to the town end against the breeze, and it's taken away here by Rainbird. He kicks it out wide. Now, what can we do here, the Glenorchy players? The ball goes towards the half forward. It's been trapped, twisting and turning. Getting the kick away, I think, was Grant. Went straight to a Launceston player on half-back, though, and the kick out wide comes straight in the direction of Kelly Mansell, and he will mark, and we mentioned at half-time, he's been a good loose player for the Blues all day, and his kick goes straight into Smith, who I reckon is the real linchman in this particular side for the Blues. He kicks it on here towards half-forward, and it's taken away here by Malucci. He kicks in towards the top of the goal. It bounces over the top. Everybody went for the mark. I think they all missed it. And Giacomo Malucci kicks his second goal for the day. He kicked one in the first quarter, and now he's kicked an opening goal here in the minute and a half of the second term. 6-2 the Blues. Glenorchy 4-1-25 then I said the Bruisers dropped a little bit, but it made no difference then to the combination of the Blues.
Yeah, just to add to you there, Barry, is another sign of the breeze dropping is we go man on man around the whole ground. There's no loose person in defence, so that's quite an interesting thing too. Ball out the back. That's what I was getting at with getting Thorpe up nice and high. Loose ball out the back. That's how Clarence exposed Glenorchy in the second half last week.
Almost 2 minutes gone here in the third quarter. Lightning start for the Blues. Handy goal with the breeze. 13 points up. Nice shark here from Camerick from the tap out from Duffy. Up to half forward. But strong in defence there is Casey Brown. Casey Brown goes to the outer side of the ground. It should be cut off here, and it's a nice mark to Josh Arnold. He goes sideways to Mott by foot. He marks inside the centre square. On that trusty left foot, Reece Mott. 1 against 2 here. Kelly Mansell's there at the front as Blackberry at the fore of the ball. Release the handball to Palfreyman. Outlet now from Tyrrell. Lovely handball, Palfreyman to Tyrrell. Tyrrell inside 50 to Jack Rushton. But getting there first is Grant. Sagging off with Thorpe, but Grant read it well. The former Brighton player. To half-back to Zach Webster. Off his chest. Has the recovery. Tackled by Riley, one of the best tacklers in the league, but he gets him high. Dylan Riley just getting it over the shoulder slightly. So Webster with the resulting free kick into the centre to Matty Joseph. Takes a mark back into the centre square. Plays on. Over the top here looking for Millhouse, who can't pick it up, or can he? Yes, he can. He's tackled. Mitch Walker, and he's penalised for incorrect disposal. Here's Joel Millhouse, kicked a goal in the second quarter. Free kick to James Gillow. Gillow now to the outer side, looking for Smith, who rises high, can't take the mark. Has a second opportunity to Jake Smith. In there too is James Webb. And I think no player can win a clear possession. So it'll be a ball up, 6-2-38 Launceston, Glenorchy 4-1-25.
3.5 minutes in this, the third term at Windsor Park. You're listening to live descriptions on City Park Radio as the ball goes to ground level again on the far side of the ground. The big fella Duffy's in there. He's been tackled by a couple of players there as the Launceston player in Casey Brown took possession, and there will be a throw up on the far side of the ground. Over near the interchange area, a lot of pushing and shoving in the ruck work. The umpire said that's fair play and allowed it to go on, where Mott breaks the tackle and then kicks towards half forward. Ball goes to ground level again. Running in there is Agnes, and he pushes it towards the boundary for the Blues, and there'll be a throw in right in front of those interchange boxes we just mentioned. Conditions now nowhere near as blustery as they were in the opening half of the game. The wind has died away probably almost 50% to what it was then, as the young fellow in the Brunnywood back in front there for Launceston pushed the ball to the ground. Umpire says holding the ball, and there'll be a free kick. And at the bottom of the pack, the Glenorchy player there in Rainbird gets up, and he's been adjudicated as holding the ball. Will this be 50 metres? No, I thought he got up and he might have had possession of the ball, but no, sir, said the umpire. It's kicked away by Parafframan, kicks it in towards that half-forward flank out there, which is over in front of the club rooms. We've mentioned that a lot of times today. That seems to be the area that both sides prefer to go with the wind. And the wind's actually coming from over more where the broadcasting area is, so you think you'd like to bring it across the centre half forward and more to this side of the ground, but that's not the tactics of both sides. Palfreman's in there again, gets it out to Hines, he taps it down. Running out of defence is Arnold. He smothered the ball. I don't know what happened there, but it went out of bounds on the full, so it must have been the wind that sort of took it as he went to kick it there. The Blues player, or as it come off, he ricocheted off his boot. Didn't quite see what happened there. There's a big pack of players in front, but it's a Glenorchy kick on half-back.
Just quickly, Barry, on that kick you're talking about going out wide to the pocket, it's actually quite a defensive kick. That kick into the forward line of a hot spot is quite an attacking one.
Yep. So Glenorchy with the free kick on the back line over there, and it looked like Josh Arnold got that relieving kick as he kicks it out towards centre wing on the far side. Joseph Boyce down there. Agnes takes it. Now the Blues have got numbers again through Boyce. Gets it off to his teammate running through there in Riley. He kicks out deep towards the half-forward line. Bounces a little bit. Oh, could be a trip there. No, the umpire says play on. Ends up with Smith. He puts it onto the left boot and kicks it out of bounds. It's wide and handsome, and it goes straight across the boundary line. And there'll be a relieving free kick for the Glenorchy side through the big, bulky fullback in Josh Grant in the last line of defence. He's down at the Exeter end of the ground. That's the end the breeze is favouring. So Glenorchy will be coming home with that in the final term. Currently they're 25 and they're trailing Launceston 38. As Dave Moore's doing his housework here, he's spilt water everywhere. The kick goes in towards the man in Smith again, and Jake Smith, who I mentioned a little earlier. I might have called him the Lynchman. I meant to say he was the Lynchpin. That's what I meant to say. But I think he's a terrific player for Launceston. He just seems to be the player that's there when something's required. And he's already had about 3 or 4 touches in this third term. He'll have a deliberate shot for goal here. You'll probably need to kick it to the right-hand goal post. The wind, you'd think it'd push it a little to his left. There's his kick, and I think he's done exactly that. The goal umpire moves a bit to the right and said it's just drifted a bit too far to the minor side of the goalpost, so it's behind for Launceston 6-3-39, Glenorchy 4-1-25, and we've played 7 1/4 minutes in this third term.
Kick out by Reece Motts, beautifully weighted to Matty Joseph, who takes the mark. Right half back, his kick's a good one too, gets a lot of distance into the breeze, so might be dropping a little bit here at Windsor Park. And a mark or free kick over there is taken by the Glenorchy player. I think that's Duffy. I'll pick him up in a second. In fact, it's number 15 there in Harry Parker. He kicks up the line, too wide. Out of bounds on the full. Free kick to Launceston. This is City Park Radio 103.7, 96.5, and via the Bupa TSL live stream. Half-back now, the Blues, looking for Whiting in the centre of the ground. There had to be a pinpoint pass, and it was. Here's the outlet kick now to Van der Velde. He's got Boyce if he wants him. He goes himself to Van der Velde. The kick is not a good one. Knocked away here by Harrison Gunther, who kicks it straight into Joey Boyce, who takes the smother. Gets a handball away. He has to go and get his own handball. He's got Aganis. Here goes Jimmy Aganis. He'll kick inside 50. Thorpe up against Grant. Thorpe has the sit and takes the mark. He read it beautifully. Grant just got himself a little bit under the ball, Alex, and Mitch Thorpe read it better on that occasion.
Yeah, it was all in the read. It may have carried a little bit further, but I think it was just reading the ball mainly.
What about that Joey Boyce? He took that ball off that opponent's boot, didn't he? It was fantastic, yes.
6-3-39 to 4-1-25. Nearly 9 minutes gone. Mitch Thorpe, leading goal kicker in the TSL. 45-degree angle, 40 out. Delivers for goal. and makes no mistake whatsoever. So I'm marking a goal to Thorpe, and Lonnie now move on to 7-3-45, Glenorchy 4-1-25, margin of 20 points. Alex Gibbons.
Yeah, some worrying signs for Glenorchy. I'm just really noticing the work rate go down. I'm noticing 3-4 metres off their opponents all the time. And Launceston, as their coach identified at half-time, are really looking to spread it out wide and go to space. I worry about Glenorchy's backline at the moment with the lack of speed.
A beautiful way to kick to from Jimmy Aganis, wasn't it? He's a standout player. He had a big season last season, but he just weighted that kick to Thorpe beautifully.
Yeah, he does some good stuff. He does some indifferent stuff as well, but you take the good with the bad with Jimmy Aganis.
And at the almost the 10-minute mark of this third term, Blues by 20 points. It's taken by the young fella in Bruniwood. He actually took his own ruck work and then kicked it out, but it's gone straight to Gunther on half-back for the Magpies. He goes wide, and Glenorchy obviously under instructions to go to that side of the ground on all occasions. They send it out there, but Launceston are waking up to it. Rushton now receives the handball and then kicks towards half-forward off the top of the pack. Taken here and onto Kelly Mansell, and the left foot of Kelly Mansell runs in and he snaps his first goal for the afternoon in what has been a fine display by him, capping it off beautifully there in the third term. And the Blues go to 8-3-51, Glenorchy 4-1-25. The Maggies need to be fairly careful here that this game's not blown out of the water in the third term.
Yep, no, exactly as we probably called it. I'd get Thorpe even higher up in the ground now. Get your smalls up down deeper.
Sorry, Dave.
You go, Baz.
Ball back in I saw the flashing hands there of
That's
your
right.
work there on all
We've got
those.
a few things on the go here. We've got spilt water, which has sort of upset the apple cart, but we're back on track. 8-3-51 to Glenorchy 4-1-25. Thanks to our sponsors, City Park Radio, Andrew Doyle, and the Telstra stores in the Quadrant Mall and Kings Meadows. As the ball comes down from Bruniwood, but taken now by Palfreyman back towards Bruniwood. The big fellow, can he pick it up? He can. Gets the handball nicely away. Kick inside 50 by Whiting. Looking for Thorpe again. Nice knock away there from Grant towards Quinn. Back to Blackberry. Kicks it to the hot spots. Great mark, Harrison Gunther. He's found a real niche across that defensive line this year. Short kick finds, is that Mott? Reece Mott to Daniel Joseph in the back pocket. Returning from Queensland this year to the Pies. Daniel Joseph. Played last year in the NEFL. Made the NEFL team that took on Tasmania at Launceston Arena. Gives it up though here to Savage. Chris Savage looks at a crowded 50 inside. He is going to go long though. He has Thorpe 1-on-2 here. Thorpe can't take the mark. He brings it to ground. Gillow tackled straight away by Mott, who gets the spillage. Back to Gunther. Skillfully around. Launches a torpedo towards half-back. Duffy there might have got one high. In fact, it was Harry Parker. And he'll take the free kick against young Sam Bruniwood. And he relief for the Pies, will Harry Parker.
Yes, he's right on half-back, over in front of the Launceston change rooms. Now we go to that outer wing again, you would think, and he's gone that wide, he's out of bounds on the full. In fact, one of the water bottle boys takes a nice clean mark on centre field. And Vanderveld has the relieving free kick for the Blues. He's having a good look around. Be interesting to see if he brings this towards the key forward position. No, he goes into that forward pocket again. It's off the top of the hands there where Thorpe grabs it. But Gunther's had about 10 possessions in this third term. Gets another scrubby kick out of defence. Palfreyman's in there. He's been good for the Blues in the third term as well. Nobody to give it to though, and it's pushed and shoved the Glenorchy players. They could get themselves out of trouble here, and they do through Camerick. He gets it out there towards the centre wing on the far side of the ground. It's Vanderveld there who's been tackled when he didn't have the ball, has he? No, the umpire said it was out of bounds before all that happened, so we'll throw it in. Centre wing, road side of the ground. The wind has really dropped away now to what it was. There's not all that much movement at all in the goalposts, but it's still a bit favouring that Exeter end of the ground as the ball breaks down towards ground level again. The Glenorchy player has been tackled far too high, and he's been good for them as Reece Mott. He will get up from the bottom of the pack, and he will relieve across half-back for the Maggies. Well, he's got very little on offer, so he comes forward to Daniel Joseph, and he marks at the true centre half-back position. He doesn't know what to do either, so he kicks out wide here, looking for and finding Connor Slater. He's on the half-back, and he goes back in the direction of the player that kicked it to him in Joseph. Now he's got a little bit of movement in the centre of the ground. They've held possession, have the Magpies. Webber's got it now in centre field. Not a great deal happening for them again. The Blues have got back in numbers. They're manned up all over the ground. The kick is just hopeful, I think. It bounces inside the half-forward line. Handball comes out and it ends up out there with Carmerick. He kicks it towards Vanderfield, who doesn't quite mark. There's a player over the back of the pack running onto it in Matthew Joseph, and he slams home a much-needed goal for the Glenorchy side. Glenorchy now move along to 5 goals, 131. Launceston are 8-3-51, and that's 20 points the difference at the 14.5-minute mark.
And Alex, inside 50s in this third quarter, 10-2 Launceston's favour. So a handy goal for Glenorchy.
Oh, they needed it. I hope it gives them a little bit of a boost. It was a goal from nothing, and to be honest with you, they've actually stopped. We're saying there's nothing happening for them as Launceston set up well and stuff. It's because Glenorchy have literally stopped in the midfield. Really looking for their captain, Braden Webby, to step up. I've just been watching him for a little bit. Time for him to really take over in that midfield, I think.
And they're back in that midfield. Webb's in there, as is Camerick. As in the ruck now is Mitch Walker, giving Duffy a spell. Beautiful tap down to Camerick. Kicks it to half forward. Bounces poorly for Glenorchy. Taken by Ryan Tyrrell. His short kick here looking for Jake Hines. Bounce sits up for him. He takes his tackle by Josh Arnold. Tackled well. Play on, says the umpire, I think. It's out of bounds. Playing 15 minutes in the third quarter, 8-3-51, plays 5-1-31. Glenorchy will have the breeze in the last quarter. Has died off a little. Not feeling as many gusts here in our commentary position. Attacking side of the wing for the Blues. One down there by Bruniwood. Coming through strong there was Boyce. Gets the handball away to Paul Freeman. He backtracks. Gillow. Handball's given up now to Josh Arnold, who gets it nicely here, and the mark is taken by Harry Parker, right in front of the interchange bench for Glenorchy. Parker now launches to half forward. In front, nice mark there, Mitch Walker. And what happened there? Might be, let me see, what's play on, is it?
In the back, I think.
Okay, thanks, Alex, because lost track of things there. So, cross half back now, the outlet kick comes out to Blackberry. There's a free kick to the Blues against Mitch Walker. Up now towards Whiting. That's a beautiful kick. Whiting has Thorpe. Waits to kick nicely. Thorpe in front. Oh, he can't quite take the grab. But here's Rushton. If he picks it up, he might get a shot on goal. He does now, although he gets the handball away. Round the corner. Giacomo Malucci converts for the Blues. They worked that one beautifully around half back down the wing. Thorpe had the hands on the ball. He couldn't quite take the mark. And Rushton Malucci created a chance, and it's another goal for the Blues. 9-3-57, Glenorchy 5-1-31.
Yep, exactly how Launceston want to play. Glenorchy's midfield opponents were still in the centre square when Launceston pushed out wide. Jay Blackery, great kick. Sonny Whiting got 20 metres out by himself. Josh Grant did a really good spoil in a really hard situation against Mitch Thorpe. But then the smalls for Launceston took over from there. 3
goals now, Baz, to Giacomo Malucci, all at the northern end of the ground.
Yes, 1 in the first quarter and 2 in the premiership quarter, we call it, the third quarter. 17.5 minutes into the third term we are indeed, as the ball is still in centre field. The umpire has found a free kick. It'll go the way of Glenorchy, and the player on the bottom of the pack will get himself up, and it's Reece Mott, who's been one of the better players for the Maggies today, I would suggest, as he runs onto that trusted left boot. Then, you give him a rap, and what's he do? Handball's behind his teammate, and it allows Dylan Riley in. He gets it away now with the right boot and kicks towards Smith. Here he comes. Look at the pace of Smith. He'll run onto this. It'll bounce up beautifully for him. He'll hand it all over the top. No, he won't. Now he handballs through that Thorpe. Thorpe set upon. Back to Smith. Smith kicks it out towards the top of the square. Sonny Whiting runs onto it and marks 10 metres out. On a reasonably acute angle, you'll find the umpire will swing him around, but I think he'll run around a bit of an arc or kick one of those inside-out banana kicks that the young players like to kick in modern footy. Sonny Whiting coming off about 10 goals last week, I think. And have a look at what he decides to kick here. It's one of those inside-out, and he's missed. Well, why not just kick it straight through the big opening? But that's modern footy, Dave Moore.
Yeah, Sonny's usually so reliable as a shot for goal, especially on this ground where he knows it like the back of his hand for so many years.
Well, it's 18 3/4 minutes into this third term. The kick in, not all that good. Allows Jay Blackby to come in and get the ball and then tackle his opponent there in Zach Webster. And Webster will receive the free kick in the last line of defence for the Magpies. His kick comes onto the broadcasting side of the ground, and Ben Camerick has been a good contributor in this third term. He must have had 6 or 7 or 8 possessions. He's got no one to go to. That's what's happening with Glenorchy now. They're getting possession of the ball. They're holding it up a little bit, but they're just not making space for their teammates, and there's a perfect example as Ryan Tyrrell just steps in front, takes the relieving kick. He's kicked it too long, though. It's gone back here to Mott again. The ball goes to ground level where Smith, my man Smith, picks it up and kicks in towards the top of the goal line. Punched away in defence there by the big, tall Josh Grant at fullback for the Magpies. A throw-in will take place right alongside of the behind post.
Umpire Nick Butler in charge here as he looks at the ruck contest here between Thorpe and Cam Duffy. Thorpe front position. He wrestled out of the way by Duffy. Rushton can't take possession. Here's Dylan Riley. Can he score a goal? He goes in a goal. Oh, hits the post. He backed himself there. He accelerated. He just sharpened up the angle and kicked it straight into the post. It's 9-5-59 the Blues. Glenorchy 5-1-31. And Dave Gruber, our stats man, tells me there's 13 inside 50s to 2 in this quarter to Launceston. So they're using the breeze pretty well. As Daniel Joseph gets knocked off his kick, but he gets good distance with it. Over here towards Webster. Low to the ground, picks it up on the left foot to the advantage here of Duffy. Takes the mark. Nobody ahead of him, so he'll have to hold things up. Racing to the 50 is Josh Arnold. Camerick. Arnold still inside 50. Camerick gets it back to Big Duffy. His handball smothered. Lucks a fortune back to Walker. Handball further back to Jack Stevenson to Mott. Mott's pushed off his kick, but he does well and gets it to Webster. So, into the breeze. They're just not willing to bomb it inside 50. They're keeping possession. Up to Duffy once again. Aganis is there. Good work, Aganis. Facing the other way, but the recovery there from Duffy. Kicked inside 50 by James Webb. Chance here for Josh Arnold. Gets around on his right foot. He's going to snap it. Great smother, Vanderveld. Back to James Webb. This way, that away. Gets tackled and gets penalised. Free kick. Chris Savage in the back pocket. It's 9-5-59 Launceston, Glenorchy 5-1-31.
And the umpires have done a good job in the blustery conditions today as Agnes got the ball there at centre half back for the Blues. What a lovely kick that is. He's absolutely kicked it right over the back of the pack. And his teammate there in Kelly Mansell takes a nice handy mark and then turns it up by kicking it straight to the opposition player in Sam Berry. Berry goes out a little bit wider and Callan Daly runs onto it there with the bright blue boots. He doesn't know what he should or shouldn't do, so he kicks it out wide there looking for Brady Quinn. And they haven't gone anywhere, but they've still got possession of the ball of Glenorchy. There's his kick out there now looking for Webster, but Webster's got a Blues player in front of him. And he takes the mark out there on the outer back flank in Ryan Tyrrell.
It's impressive, Baz.
He's been a good player, all right. And there's his kick. And this fella here, Joe Boyce, has been a good player. And so is this fella, Kelly Mansell, as he runs onto it with his left boot. And he kicks it. He penetrates the kick inside, but it's taken away by Grant. The big fella can't get down to it, can he? I'll tell you what, he's going to paddle it out of defence by 150 metres. Great play by him. But Launceston get the ball. It goes towards Joe Boyce. Quick hands then. Out here towards Shepherd. Shepherd handballs back now towards, what's the umpire found here?
Out of bounds, Baz.
Oh, he's out of bounds. Hand roll right in my line there. I couldn't quite work out what happened, but it's out of bounds. And the throw-in will take place right in front of the broadcasting position. And we've played 22 and a half minutes here in the third term. Launceston a 59, Glenorchy a 31. Glenorchy will come home with the breeze in the last quarter. Kelly Mansell has the ball from that tap in. Lovely penetrating left foot kick that actually floated the entire pack to where Brady Quinn took it for the Glenorchy side. He kicks towards the outer side there looking for his captain in Braden Webb. But Launceston chip in. The kick comes into Riley. He drops what he probably should have taken though. At ground level we've got Rainbird. Rainbird's set upon. They've still got it though of Glenorchy. It finally ends up there with Gunther, who's been brilliant in the third term. Kicks it out towards centre wing on the far side of the ground. Breaks at ground level. Is this the player there in Webb coming through with it? He doesn't know what to do with it. He breaks a tackle somehow. Gets himself onto the right boot. Kicks towards half forward. Opportunity for Glenorchy. They got players at the back of the pack. It's taken off the back. Running into it. There is a little player in Callan Daly. And he hits the webbing behind the big sticks. And a much needed goal for Glenorchy there at the 23 and a half minute mark of the third term. There's 6-1-37, Launceston 9-5-59.
Braden Webb, take
Yeah.
a bow. First time Glenorchy's really looked to take the game on through the middle. Nice attacking. The breeze has dropped off. We've got a score to win this game. Braden Webb took it on. Fantastic. Good leadership.
And he didn't rush his entry into 50. He could have bombed away, Alex, but he waited for the opportunity and waited to kick beautifully inside 50. They've only had 4 inside 50s for this quarter, and they've scored the 2 goals.
Yep.
Clearances in this quarter so far, Glenorchy 7, Launceston 5, and the hit-outs still favour Glenorchy 11-5. We'll get those full stats at 3-quarter time. We've only got a couple minutes left, although we haven't had a few goals in this third quarter. It's been entertaining. The play's opened up a little bit from the centre contest. Here's Daly once again. He's kicked the 3, Baz. Callan Daly. No, the 2 goals now. Set up 1 also. Now, free kick and taking off with the ball. Bit of an experience there was young Tyson Miller. The free kick was paid and he charged off with the ball. And you could hear the Glenorchy supporters below us yell out 50. And I think it's that man Callan Daly again who's got the ball. He won himself the free kick. And even into this reasonably stiff breeze, you'd think he'd be able to make the distance from here. A breakout season is young Callan Daly. Right in front. 35 out. Deliberate shot. Skips in. Delivers. And misses to the right. One behind a Glenorchy. Only their second for the day. 6-2-38. To Launceston at 9-5-59. That's Hines down there. He takes the bounce after kicking to himself. Takes a second. Gets good distance. Approaches the 50 before he kicks. Long up to the wing. And that might be a free kick there against Reece Mott going to Ruller Kelly Mansell. He goes short now to Palfreyman. They'll go inside 50 here. Whiting right on the edge of 50. Takes on the bounce. Right goes left and then gets it back to Giacomo Malucci. Delivers here towards Gillow. He takes the mark. And James Gillow, who hasn't scored a goal today, scored, one last week against the Tigers. A nice snap. He'll line up from about 48 out when he delivers. Or left of centre. They lead by 21 points. And it's not enough yet because Glenorchy do have the breeze in the last quarter. Here's James Gillow on the left foot. He's pushed it to the left. And he just sneaks it in for a behind. So Launceston 9-6-60. Glenorchy 6-2-38.
Yes, 26 and a quarter minutes have elapsed, getting very close to 3-quarter time here at Windsor Park. And Glenorchy, the kick in is beautifully weighted and it finds Brady Quinn. And Glenorchy have had a lot better players in this third term to what they had in the first half, more consistent players. But say that, and what's it happens? He kicks it fairly poorly, ends up with Matthew Spawn, one of the inclusions for the Blues today, on centre wing on the broadcasting side of the ground. Kicks it deep in towards the forward pocket. Big defensive fist there by Daniel Joseph. Certainly cleared the boundary. It almost went over into the Tamar River. He punched it that far. And luckily there's a young fella over there that will get the ball and retrieve it back for the boundary umpire at the 27-minute mark of this third term.
Scores level, Baz, between Carlton and Essendon.
Half time yet, Dave?
No, it's nearly just in the start of the third quarter.
Right, there's the throw in, and it's going to that player who's been dominant in Camrick for the Glenorchy side. The kick then comes towards Webster. He couldn't take the mark, but Tyrrell could. He just goes about his work, this fella, unobtrusive, isn't he? You just don't see what he's doing. He does a lot of good work. There's his kick. It's a beauty to the top of the goal square. It's thumped over the back. It'll go in the direction there of Malucci. He can't quite gather it before it makes the boundary line. There'll be a throw in, and it's about 30 metres around from the behind post. The Blues are going to the Exeter end in this, the third term. Now, the first 10 minutes of this quarter, the ball spent all the time over there, but it's opened up a little since then. It's been very entertaining the last 15 minutes or so. Taken by Gillow, handballs over the top, can't find Malucci, and it goes to the out of bounds again. There'll be yet another throw in. The Blues are 60, Glenorchy are 38, so that's 22 points, the margin. Just under 4 goals at the 28-minute mark of this third term. Very gettable by Glenorchy in the last quarter, you would think, as they kick the ball out of defence. They kick it here towards Joe Boyce. I tell you what, every player is inside the 50-metre semicircle bar, Joe Boyce and 2 other players. He gets it on to Blackberry. Blackberry kicks the ball. What? The goal umpire doesn't move. I said, what will happen to this ball with the breeze? What happened was it went straight through the big majors, and Blackberry kicks his first goal for the day. And the Blues, very handy in the dying minutes of the third term, moved to 10-6-66, Glenorchy 6-2-38.
Exactly right there, Barry. Launceston had 3 players sitting out in the square by themselves. Every other player was in the forward line 50. I'm not sure how Glenorchy could have exited there, but loose ball went out to Joe Boyce, and like we said at half-time, we were just bombing it in the first half. Third quarter, he lowered his eyes, hit a 20-metre pass, and Jay Blackberry took it from there.
Okay, back in the middle. We've been playing 29 minutes, so it's a longish quarter. But a fair few goals kicked. Baz, we've had, I think, 5 goals to Launceston, 2 goals to Glenorchy, so a 7-goal quarter. As the ball's released there by Camerick towards Palfreyman. Be another contest next to the centre circles. The leading goal scorer at the moment, Malucci, has 3 for Launceston. Daly has 2 for Glenorchy. As the ball goes up, well done to Bruniwood. Doesn't get any distance with the tap, though. Duffy working hard. Chance for a clearance here. Be important for both teams. Umpire lets it go a long, long time as Bruniwood stands up in the tackle. Back to the umpire. Of course, Hamish Leadham out today. Should be back next week. Big game next week here, Launceston and North Launceston. As the kick smothered there from Shepherd. Working hard there is Miller. Quick kick out by Glenorchy. Might have been pushed underneath the ball there was Oakley, but play on, says the umpire. Shepherd to Vanderveld. Great smother there by Webster. Webster now on the left. Interesting kick. Oh, it goes through the legs of Boyce to Daly. Now what will Daly do? He tries to get it to inside 50. Player there can't take the mark. Let's see, that might be Webb as the siren sounds. Short blast just as the ball was taken by the Glenorchy player. And it's 3/4 time here at Windsor Park in the match of the day in the TSL, and it's Launceston 10-6-66, Glenorchy 6-2-38. That quarter went 30.5 minutes. Goal kickers, Barry Triffett.
For the Launceston Blues, Giacomo Malucci has kicked 3 goals. Jack Rushton has kicked a couple, so too has Mitch Thorpe, and singles to Jay Blackberry, Brody Paraframan and Rulla Kelly Mansell. And for the Glenorchy side, the multiple goal kicker is Callan Daly. He's kicked 2. And singles to James Webb, Matthew Joseph and Joel Millhouse.
Alex Gibbons.
Yeah, I actually think Glenorchy might have been a little bit lucky there in that first half of that quarter. The midfield work rate was really down and Launceston was really taking over. Didn't put it on the scoreboard though, and then Glenorchy had a really solid fight back. I asked for the captain to stand up, and it was only one act, but geez, the whole team seemed to feed off that. They had another second shot straight after that on goal and missed probably 40 metres out directly in front. Would have been a different game if he kicked that. That last goal would have hurt a lot though.
Yeah, 28-point margin at 3/4 time. It's still within the reach of Glenorchy if they can get a couple of quick goals at the start of the last quarter. We'll take a short break here for some messages from City Park Radio. We're back here in a moment with our stream and our City Park Radio coverage.
We'll do the rest, keeping you in touch with your community. Community Diary on City Park Radio.
You're listening to great TSL action.
Also got a full-time score now from the Twin Ovals. It was Clarence 8-17-65 to the Tigers 1-8-14, and we're probably at about 3/4 time at the game at UTAS Stadium, the replay of last year's grand final, North Launceston and Lauderdale. There for City Park Radio, and the TSL report is Mitch Jones. G'day, Mitch.
The onslaught has continued by North Launceston here. As the scores now look 17 goals, 11, 113 to Lauderdale's 3 goals, 7, 25 as the three-quarter time has just gone.
Wow, disappointing for Lauderdale Bombers there, Mitch. And the major goal scorers?
Tom Bennett now has 4 goals, Cox Goodyear with 3, and 2 goals to Taylor Whitford, 2 to Zach Burt, and then singles all the rest.
And for Lauderdale?
Lauderdale have got 2 to Alex Hills and 1 to Ryan Wiggins.
Cheers, Mitch. We'll hear from you again at full time.
Cheers.
That's Mitch Hills there at UTAS Stadium, and the score at three-quarter time here is Launceston 10-6, 66, Glenorchy 6-2, 38. Some of the stats to three-quarter time. Glenorchy 43 hit-outs to Launceston 19, 14-8 that quarter. Clearances that quarter were 10-5, Glenorchy's favour, and they lead 24-23 over the day. Inside 50s, Launceston 20-6, and we mentioned they converted those 20 entries into 5 goals, and Glenorchy converted their 6 entries into 2 goals. Marks inside 50, 5 to Launceston, 1 to Glenorchy. It's 10-2 over the day. Just 2 marks, Alex, inside 50 for Glenorchy over the whole day. That's a telling stat, I think. Shots on goal, 9-3 for Launceston in Launceston's favour, and the free kicks, 17 apiece over the day. Thanks to Dave Gruber.
Yeah, that marking inside 50 in that quarter there, I actually thought was because the Glenorchy defence were very slow to turn, and they were getting the ball out the back. Harrison Gunther was probably the key defender down there for Glenorchy. He showed a fair bit of fight, and I think Glenorchy had a fair bit to thank for him there. The other one that had a real crack for Glenorchy that quarter was Ben Kamerick. Got a fair bit of the ball as well through the midfield, but I don't know, it's still game on. Glenorchy are just going to have to, for me, it's simple, it's work rate. They work hard this quarter, get some early shots on goal and get a bit of momentum. That's how they get back into the game.
I think in any game of footy, Baz, 5 goals, if you've got a breeze behind you, is attainable.
Yes, certainly is, Dave, and we did mention at the start of that quarter that the breeze had dropped away a little bit, but it's picked up again a tad or two, I'd have thought, and that won't hurt the Magpies when they're coming home with it. And yes, dead set correct, it's reasonably low scoring, but 5 goals, and if they can hold Launceston sort of goalless or just down to about 1 goal, we got a very exciting finish coming up. And the Magpies played a lot better in that quarter, and there was 6 or 8 players I thought that were very, very consistent, and they were taking possession and making sure that their teammates got it. Where the first couple of quarters there, it was kick and hope a lot of the time, but they were a lot more positive and direct in that third term.
Okay, we're off now to our bounty riders, Craig Boone and Chris Sayer. First of all, Craig.
G'day, Dave. Yeah, they're still going over at the Glenorchy huddle, but Chris is heading my way from there, so I've been to Launceston huddle. Sam Lonergan said he'd like to see a bit of a lift from the mids. He felt fatigue was starting to lose there, and he wants them to stick with the game plan for this last quarter. He said 30 points up, they've got a slight breeze against them. He said they want to make sticking to the game plan and getting these wins a habit, so just stick with the plan, don't deviate in the last quarter, keep doing what you're doing. I'll hand over to Chris.
Yes, Coach Kennedy is talking to his players as if they're 5 goals down at three-quarter time. He wants gut runs, he wants hard work, he wants pressure, and they still think they can win it.
No worries. And Craig, that breeze, we've been talking about it up here. How is it down at ground level?
Yeah, still about. It did drop temporarily there for a while. Funnily enough, when Launceston kicked 2 or 3 goals fairly quickly there, the breeze actually seemed to drop, but it's come up a bit in the last few minutes, and it is still fairly strong when we get it.
No worries, mate. We'll join you in the rooms after the game.
Will do.
Last quarter action now here at Windsor Park. It's the Blues leading by 28 points. Here's Barry Triffett.
Yes, and we're about to get underway. Beautiful sunny conditions here right now, and it's probably the warmest part of the day so far. And the young fella, Bruni Woods, got better and better at the ruck work throughout the game, and he got that tap down fairly decisively, and Blackberry got it in the end from off other fingers. Here's Kelly Mansell. He's quick, isn't he? He handballs over the top looking for Rushton. Rushton dodges, twists, turns, kicks it out wide, waits it nicely into the forward pocket, almost a mark with the defence back there of Glenorchy was absolutely to the fore. They've pushed it out in numbers, and a big pack starts to form up there, and the umpire will probably end up having to throw this up just inside 50. But that looked like Launceston were on the march there to kick a goal in the opening 30 seconds of the final term, and the lead probably would have been too surmountable then for Glenorchy. But the defenders back there have worked really well. In fact, there's a free kick at the bottom of all that, and the Glenorchy get the kick out of defence. But the kick's a shocker. It's bounced in the middle of the field and it's letting Launceston players in yet once again. Now it's just hurriedly kicked out of there by Parker, and the umpire, there's a mark actually taken. We've mentioned the big fella, young Sam Brunnywood, was playing a lot better, and he's marked that nicely. And his kick, though, goes straight to the opposition player, and it's Matthew Joseph in the long sleeves at half back. He'll chip over the top, looking for and finding Braden Webb, who was a great contributor in that third term. He gets it onto another good player from the third term in Cullen Daly. He runs out to the half-forward line. They haven't got a thing on offer down here. They probably kick it to us up in the broadcasting position, but it's tapped over the top. Ends up there with Millhouse. Millhouse kicks in towards the top of the square. Good defence back there. Launceston's Brown. Ball goes to ground. Ball taken away there by, I think that's Shepherd back there, is it? For the Launceston side, he's thrown to the ground with the ball, and did a pretty good job then, the defenders, because Glenorchy looked like they had a real opportunity there in the opening minute of this final term. Ball goes to ground level again, a nullified attack. It's taken here by Camerick, who snaps from deep in the forward pocket. Have a look at that. I reckon that's straight down the barrel of the television camera there. And here at Windsor Park, a good goal for Glenorchy, 7-2-44. Launceston 10-6-66. That came out of nowhere, but they're on the march, Glenorchy, in the final term.
Yeah, well, in my opinion, Glenorchy playing is absolutely just right. How they should be. They're taking the game on. They had Smalls in the forward line, looked really dangerous, and Ben Camerick's starting to have one big influence on this game.
Yeah, he's been impressive today, Ben Camerick. He's straight back in the middle again. We've seen some great goals from that pocket today. We've had a good view of some on the highlights. Simon's captured them beautifully. Is back in the middle. Big bounce down. That's a beautiful bounce by the umpire there. Nick Butler. Braden Webb releases. Kick sideways here onto the wing. It's taken there by Ryan Tyrrell. To half forward to Smith, who can't take possession. Off the ground, Jake Smith to the advantage of Riley if he can pick it up. He's got Rushton over the top, but he goes to Kelly Mansell. He loves that pocket. But he goes short to Thorpe, who takes the mark. And can't see the 50-metre line very well from here, but I reckon he's going to kick from about 35 to 40 metres out. He plays on now, goes around as Thorpe. Allows for the breeze. It's a poor kick, though. It's knocked away by Mansell from Millhouse. And it's out of bounds, so it's through for a behind. So first score for Launceston for this last quarter. 10-7-67 to 7-2-44. Play on now at half forward, and the mark's taken. Now I think that's Jay Blackberry who's taken the mark. It is. He gets to his feet. So the kick out was taken quickly. It was turned over. And short pass to Blackberry, who's 40 out directly in front.
Yes, it was a poor quality kick in, I think, at this stage of the game.
Yep.
It allowed the Blues back in.
Very quiet here as the breeze has dropped at Windsor Park. As Blackberry for goal. I think that's okay. It is inside the left-hand goal post. The experienced Jay Blackberry gets his second goal of the day. First goal for Launceston in the last quarter. 11-7-73, Glenorchy 7-2-44, and that's the answering goal for the Blues, Alex.
Yeah, it was, and it was unfortunate. I mean, Glenorchy took the quick kick in, the kick was on, the decision-making was right, they went down the middle to the loose player, but you then got to execute your skills. It was just a simple 45-metre, no-pressure pass, and missed it by about 5 metres. Turned the ball over, and then it's a shot on goal directly in front of Jay Blackberry.
AFL, the Giants trail the Eagles by 15 points. And the Bombers lead the Blues by 1 point, close to three-quarter time. Barry.
Interesting. A weekend footy. Mitch Thorpe would have kicked that goal easy last week when he kicked 8. Today he's kicked the ball like it's half flat. You have those days. And it's happened to Mitch Thorpe today somewhat. Now, he's kicked a couple, but probably could have had 4 or 5. Now the ball has been called back. We've seen a lot of this today with umpires having difficulty in the blustery conditions out there to bounce it correctly. The ball goes out there now where it's socket off the ground by Dylan Riley. Now Glenorchy have an opportunity here, and the umpire has said throwing the ball, so that will be a free kick to the Launceston side. Ends up back there with Denellen. Denellen now kicks it and said hold up in the breeze. Oh, interference you'd have thought down there, and a free kick would go to Glenorchy in the last line of defence. Oh, they played advantage, I think. Now, that's what we questioned before. Allowed to play at that time, and it ends up there with Parker. Hank gets it off to his teammates. Here they come now, Glenorchy out of that back zone towards the centre wing of the ground here. It goes towards Daly. The little fella pounces on it again. Had a pretty good afternoon here at Windsor Park, and he waits a beautiful pass down in there to Mitch Rainbird. And he will mark, well, he has marked about 25 metres from goal, and the breeze directly behind his back. And again, if you're watching on the stream, you'll be able to watch. The television camera will be straight down the barrel of what's about to happen here, as Mitch Rainbird hasn't kicked a goal today. He has now, as he kicks that one through, beautifully executed. So they hang in there, do the Glenorchy, because we've played 4 3/4 minutes into the final term. Launceston are 11-7-73. Glenorchy 8-2-50. 23-point margin.
Well done, Glenorchy. They got a free kick in the back line. Once again, took the game on and moved the ball fast. Actually, when they get it out to space, they can move the ball quickly. The coach would be liking to see that. Something they could perhaps go on during the season, I reckon.
4 inside 50s to Lonnie, 2 to Glenorchy in this last quarter. Clearances 2 apiece. They just might be a little bit too far back. That's the worry for Glenorchy. They're playing some good footy, but can they bridge that 4-goal gap? Plenty of time left, of course. Matthew Spon does well to Hines. Quick kick forward will be marked by James Webb. Defensive end of the centre square. On that left foot of his, up towards half forward. Brown rises high, knocks it away. Only as far now as Savage, who goes towards the boundary line. He'll be penalised there for deliberate. Yep, fair call that one.
First time we've seen that today.
Free kick to Callan Daly. Couple kicks out from goal. Launches to the pocket to Zach Webster. Well done, Chris Savage. In front of the Blues faithful over there, who are spilling out of the bar, and there's a bit of to-do on the boundary. A few words being spoken. Now, umpire Nick Butler has paid something here. He's touching his shoulder, and he's penalising Glenorchy and paying the free kick to Casey Brown.
Against Dylan Riley, that one.
No, no, it's gone the other way. It's gone Casey Brown up to half back, and the man in front is paid. No, at the back there, I think that's Gillow. It is number 27 who's taken the mark. Goes short to Dylan Riley. He just steadies things down. His eyes are darting left, looking for a switch. Beckons players towards him now. Executes the kick okay to Paul Freeman. Gets it on the half volley. Releases only as far as Webster to Webb. On the boundary line. Kick to centre half forward here, and Van der Velde is the only man in attendance and takes the mark. Van der Velde releases now to Whiting, who's right down the defensive end of the ground. Left foot here looking for Smith. Drops short, and Harry Parker, who's taken some good grabs today, to Quinn. Wants to get back to Parker now. He goes himself. He's tackled by Smith. He's gone. Great tackle, Jake Smith. Against Brady Quinn there. And he'll take the free kick on defensive 50. It's Launceston 11-7-73, Glenorchy 8-2-50.
Just continues to play well and do those little 1%ers. Does Jake Smith. And here he is on half-back. Kicks it on centre wing, broadcasting side of the ground. Thumped away by the defenders there of Glenorchy. Harry Parker was the one on that occasion. Made sure it went out of bounds to give them an opportunity to set up again. They've got the Breeze in this final term, if you've just joined us. Have Glenorchy. And from the throw in, Duffy gets the tap down, but it ends up there with Shepherd. He kicks it under a little bit of pressure, but got it to Gillow. Gillow to Paraffin, who's shaving as certainly one of the Blues' better players. He kicks it out extremely wide, looking for Kelly Mansell, but it's taken away from him. A good mark has been taken down there by the Glenorchy player, and I think that's Gunther as he gets himself up off the ground. A little bit of altercation there. I think he might have sort of half copped it in the face as he took the mark. But anyway, he's okay. He gets on with it now and kicks it on to Jack Stevenson. He's right in the centre of the ground. Goes out wide looking for the big fella in Walker. He's good on this occasion. Twists, turns, puts himself onto the right boot. Kicks it inside there to Joseph, and he marks just outside 50. He kicks inside, beautifully weighted past to Harry Parker. And Parker takes a nice strong mark just inside 50. And with the breeze, you'd think wouldn't be a problem.
He's had a big second half, Harry Parker. And a few grabs.
Yes, he's been a good contributor. A lot of the Glenorchy fellas I mentioned there at three-quarter time, they've played a lot better in the second half than what they did in the first. It was very scrambling and probably didn't suit their style of play. Now they've settled, opened the game up a little. Their passing and their kicking is a lot more positive. Harry Parker kicking from just inside 50. The distance doesn't worry him, and goal umpire works a long way to the right and then steps back between the big uprights and tells us that's a goal. Harry Parker kicks his first. Glenorchy are coming there 9-2-56. Launceston 11-7-73. 9 1/4 minutes final term.
Good contest now, Alex.
Yeah, no, that was impressive. 2 goals in a row by Glenorchy. And it all started from Harrison Gunther down in the back line with that real taking on the game, kick into the middle. They did a 2-kick switch out to the other side, which opened up, allowed them to run, and a nice easy kick into the forward line there where Harry Parker took the mark directly in front, about 45 out, and finished it off.
Game on here. We've got plenty of time left. We're just about to tick over 12 minutes. I started the clock slow again, Baz. So 12 minutes and 17 points. So there's time if they're good enough. As the old cliche goes, as the bounce down favours Bruniwood. Gets it down only as far as Quinn, I think it is, who gets the handball forward to Denellen, who's tackled. Good tackle. He did take the tackler on. And we've got a bit of Glenorchy support down here below us, young fellas. So... adding to the atmosphere here as Reece Mott takes it. He's tackled by Palfreyman. Can't escape. Does come out now. The ball's released. And it's a bit of a ruck and maul at half forward. So another ball up. 11-7-73 Launceston. Glenorchy 9-2-56. 12.5 minutes. Bruniwood up against Duffy. Taken out by Blackberry. His kick smothered. Ricochets to Thomas Shepherd. Kicks it to the wing. And the mark's taken here by Glenorchy. Invited now to play on. Up to half forward. Second grab to Savage. Claims a mark. Falls out here towards Oakley. Oakley for goal. Riley Oakley. That's another one. That's his second for the day for Glenorchy. And a late inclusion for Jay Bowden. Has converted from 48 out. And score now is 10-2-62 Glenorchy. Launceston 11-7-73, 11 points of difference.
Yeah, and isn't it funny, you do a couple of good acts and you get the momentum and the whole team gets up and about. This whole game has changed. You've got atmosphere in the crowd, you've got the players out there responding, and I can hear the whole Glenorchy team, go down the middle, go down the middle. They're all yelling it. It is definitely game on now.
And young fella, Riley Oakley, he's had a couple of good efforts today, Baz.
He has indeed, pressure. Yes. Didn't panic, did he? He just took his time then. Great performance. The big fella in Bruniwood gets the tap down again, and he's doing a lot better in the second half, the young fellow. The ball's still at ground level. It's going nowhere. The umpire's circling. The umpire says we'll throw it up again, fellas. Now we've played, is it 3 minutes on that?
2 minutes on that,
2 minutes on that, so it's 14 minutes into the final term. I didn't realise you switched it on late again.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. 14 minutes into the final term. Here's Powerfulman. He's been really good for the Blues. Gets it to his teammate in Brown. Brown's kick smothered somewhat. Goes to ground level. Taken away there by Blackberry. Handballs out quickly there to the running Hines. Hines kicks it out wide. Oh, the mark has been spilled out there by the Launceston player. Puts himself back onto the right bird and kicks towards Mitch Thorpe though. And Thorpe marks directly in front. 35, 40 metres perhaps he'll kick it from goal. Didn't quite pick up that Launceston player that dropped it by Jim.
Young Malucci, I think, Baz.
Malucci, was it? Yes, and he made up for it though, didn't he? He worked extremely quick and hard and then got a lovely pass into Thorpe. Now, I mentioned before he's kicking nowhere near as well today as what he did last week. He's been kicking the ball rather like it's flat, a bit like the old country punts that Peter Hudson used to kick. He was pretty accurate though. So Mitch Thorpe now, a much better looking drop punt. The goal umpire moves one to his right and says that's a goal. Launceston needed that because we've played 15 minutes in the final term, and they now lead by 17 points. They're 79 leading Glenorchy 62.
Another goal from Mitch Thorpe there. That's today, Baz? That's 3. That's 29 for the year.
The whole game's opened up. This has probably been the best standard of football. The wind's dropped off, and that's a real credit to both clubs that they're really playing this game out to the end here. I don't know, that makes it a bit tough for Glenorchy. Still game on though, the game has opened up.
In the middle of Windsor Park, sun-drenched Windsor Park for our radio listeners. City Park Radio 103.7, 96.5, thanks to Telstra Tours, Quadrant Mall and Kings Meadows for their sponsorship. Comes to Hines, he's tackled. And that Glenorchy player tackled to the ground is Cam Duffy. So secondary ball up. It's just taking the wind out of the sails of the Pies a little bit. They're still in touch. So we've got margin at 17 points. Here they go, the Blues. Gets it back to Miller. Miller kicks wide. And the mark's taken there on the wing. It's a long way away. I'll get the glasses up. Looks like it is Sonny Whiting who's taken the mark. Player down hurt for Glenorchy at half forward. We'll get back to that in a minute as it comes up to Gillow. He's tackled as he gets the kick away. Chance for Blackberry on the bottom of the pack. And it should be a ball up here.
Sonny Whiting's played a different role today, hasn't he? It must be because Mitch Thorpe's the true full forward, and Sonny Whiting's been up the ground a lot, and he's been a pretty good contributor.
Ball up, far side. There's Reece Mott getting the kick away towards Webster. Beaten to it there by Riley. Riley's got it now. Takes it himself, does Dylan Riley. Kicks to full forward. Thorpe one out with Grant. Grant does well, or does he? He doesn't, because he gives away the free kick. And Mitch Thorpe, 20 metres out, directly in front. This might, I shouldn't say it, I said it last year and got it wrong. Game at UTAS Stadium, Baz, but this could be the nail in the coffin here. This would make it 23 points.
Well, it was the experience of Thorpe there, wasn't it, to put his body in the right position.
17.5 minutes gone. Mitch Thorpe keeps it low, but he's missed it.
That's one of those kicks again. Unreal.
He hit the ground. He kicked the ground first there before the ball.
Much to the pleasure of the Glenorchy supporters below us. He's missed that one as Thorpe, so it's 3 goals of difference. The Pies are still in it. As Matty Joseph launches a massive kick outside, or inside the centre square. Here's a chance for Mott. Can they get something going here? Quick kick by James Webb up to half forward. No one inside 50. Rainbird's got it. He might go himself, Mitch Rainbird. How will this bounce? It's a torpedo that bounces to the right. In fact, it hits the behind post. No score at all. The boundary throw in. 18 minutes gone. Launceston 80, Glenorchy 62. It's 1 versus 3. Huge match here next week between Launceston and North Launceston. The Northern Bombers on top at UTAS Stadium. Boundary throw in beside the behind post. Aganis in front. Behind is Parker. Can somebody take clear possession? They can't. Umpire Nick Butler will come in and ball it up about 20 metres out. So big play here for Glenorchy. If they can score here, there. Still got time left. With the breeze, Parker down to Boyce, who's tackled. Can't release. Another ball up. So a lot of Launceston players behind the ball here, guarding the goal square. A lot of players inside 50. I can only count 6 not inside attacking 50 at the moment for the Pies. Parker again, working hard. Comes out to Vandervelde. Ball, says the crowd. In fact, it's paid. Holding the ball against Vandervelde. Alex, your thoughts?
He got swung, 720 I reckon in the end. I think he had an opportunity to get rid of it.
Yep. So a chance for Glenorchy here. As Ben Kamerick, he kicked a goal in this last quarter. He's had an impressive game today. Glenorchy Premiership player. And one of the more experienced hands in this Glenorchy team. Ben Kamerick must score this for the Pies to have a show. 10 minutes or so remaining in this game. Ben Kamerick makes no mistake at all with that one. The tackle is rewarded from Kamerick. He scores the goal. Second goal in this last quarter for Ben Kamerick. 11-2-68. Plays 12-8-80.
And it's still game on. Ben Kamerick's having a great game. Now hitting the scoreboard as a midfielder. That's such a valuable trait to have. When that ball was in the forehand, there was lots of numbers, but Glenorchy did set up really well behind the ball. So I don't think it was going to come out easily either.
Ball back in centre field with the field umpire. We're just ticked into time on in the final term. 2 straight goals of difference. 80 Launceston, 68 Glenorchy. Now the umpire can he perfect a good bounce down here, and there's someone in the square that shouldn't be, I would suggest. And that's a big call at that time of the day. And the young fella Sam Bruniwood will relieve for Launceston. Must have been a Glenorchy player. He's been invited to play on, so he chips it in towards half forward. He's looking for Dunellen, and he finds him still in the centre square. His long raking left foot, though, goes in the Thorpe direction. Thorpe can't take the mark, goes to ground. Here come Glenorchy out of defence. The kick coming towards the outer wing here in front of the broadcasting side of the ground. Ball goes to ground level. Here's Webb. He was brilliant in the third term. Here's the little dynamo that's been good in Camerick and gets it back to Webb. Webb kicks though under pressure. Ends up here with Savage. Savage with the right boot. Beautifully weighted pass towards Dunellen. And Dunellen, I think he's acting a little bit there as well to take a little bit of time off the clock, you would think. Yes, I don't think there's too much wrong with him. He's going to come back now, and he's on centre wing. And he's just taking all the time in the world. He'll wait until the umpire tells him to play on, I think. Now he invites him to do exactly that. He kicks it wide towards the boundary. There's only Glenorchy back there. And here's one of their better players in Harrison Gunther, who marks across half back. Now they need to get on with it now because we're into the time-on period of the final term. If Glenorchy want to get up and steal this one from Launceston. I think Launceston have been in front all day, if my memory serves me correct. Yep. There's the kick out of there, and it goes towards Shepherd. He's pushed and shoved and pulled, and then down goes a big pack of players, and just about a metre in from the boundary line, there will be a throw up here, right in front of the Glenorchy chain sheds. Umpire giving directions. I'm going out this way, go back towards the centre of the arena. Hurried kick out of there by Mott with the left boot, kicks towards half forward here. Now Glenorchy got nothing ahead of this ball, even if they take possession of it, but Vanderfield will get it. Gets it off to his teammate in Brown. But here, stealing the ball is Parker. Parker goes towards the goal and kicks the goal for Glenorchy. They're still in with a chance because we've played 23 minutes into the final term. And Glenorchy move along to 12-12-74. 1 straight goal the difference. 12-8, 80 at Launceston. And Glenorchy have the breeze if you've joined us lately.
And 6 goals now in the last quarter to the Pies. 2 each to Parker and Camerick. 1 to Oakley and Rainbird. And there is only a goal in it here. Plenty of time left. Especially when the margin's just 1 goal. Alex, it's anybody's game.
Yeah, Glenorchy's work rate's much higher at the moment. They're finishing off the game really well.
Sun sets over the West Tamar, but the sun is rising on this game because it's a beauty. Here's Jack Rushton. He gets away, takes a bounce, then gets a handball to Kelly Mance, who's under all sorts of pressure here. Taken by Josh Arnold. Kick forward there by Brady Quinn. And knocked out of play. Let me see. Yeah, Matthew Spon. Yep. No doubt about that decision. So chance for Glenorchy to launch now. Up to half forward. Rainbird takes the mark. In front of Jimmy Aganis. Rainbird, low kick. Where's it going to fall? To Vanderveld. He gets a kick. I think that was touched.
Oh, it was touched.
Yeah, it was touched.
No,
it wasn't touched. Beg your pardon. It was out on the full. So it's a free kick to Camerick. He's already kicked 2 in this last quarter. We're at 24 minutes. So I'll just look at this one from Ben Camerick. 40 out, probably 35 out, right on the boundary line. We're directly behind it here at Windsor Park. Ben Camerick! It's all tied up here at Windsor Park. What a brilliant last quarter from the Pies. They've kicked 7. They've drawn level. 13-280, 12-8-80, 25 minutes gone.
Ben Camerick, what a player. I've never seen him live. He has got some skill. At the moment, Launceston have dropped one back for this last 5 minutes. Loose behind the ball is Chris Savage, getting caught out in between. He's not going forward, he's not going back, and there is a lot of panic in the Launceston back line at the moment. All through work rate and spread through their midfield. Easy ball coming in.
Well, that was the goal of the day. There's no doubt about that. He never panicked, did he, Alex?
No.
And he deliberately kicked at the goal. None of this fancy stuff trying to kick it round corners or do anything stupid. He just saw the opening and he kicked it through beautifully and kicked his 3rd for the quarter. And we're all tied up. Are we heading for a draw here at Windsor Park? There can't be all that long to go. Don't tell me somebody's in the square again. Surely to goodness. Oh, no, it's the umpire who's bounced the ball outside the circle. I thought that whistle initially came from the boundary umpire. But there he is, throwing it back up. And getting the tap down was Duffy. Goes to nobody in particular again. Most of the ruck work has been nullified. Now Launceston with the ball. Ends up out here now with Miller. He's tackled to the ground. And there's a free kick going the way of Glenorchy. And it's taken here by the little fella in Callan Daly. He kicks in towards half forward. Thump to ground level. Kelly Mansell gets the ball. Gets it on to Rushton. Rushton's under siege. Handballs to nobody. In fact, it goes to Webb. It's kicked now inside 50. Launceston player in front. Coming at it hard there was Rainbird. Ball goes to ground level now. Riley over the back. On it goes now a little bit further to Shepherd, I think it is, who's been set upon by two Glenorchy players. And between them, they hold the ball in. And there'll be a bounce down right in front of the Launceston club rooms. Exciting finish here at Windsor Park. 26 and a quarter minutes final term. Balls are being tapped around at the top of the pack there. Launceston out of the fence through Riley. Been a good player for them. Kicks it towards centre wing, far side of the ground. Glenorchy player ducked, but he's been awarded the free kick for too high, and he'll get the free kick on the outer flank.
Joseph.
There's the kick by Joseph coming in here now, looking for Gunther. It's over the back to Launceston. Oh, it's been taken by Glenorchy again. They've got an opportunity to go back in towards their forward line here. Now through Bierman. The ball at ground level though, taken by Savage. Savage gets it off here wide and out to Malucci. Here they come the Magpies again, taken by Arnold, and the free kick has been paid though to Malucci.
Ooh.
And Malucci will relieve for Launceston. Excuse me, time running out. His kick goes in the middle of the field, and it looks to me like the good player in Jake Hines has marked it right in centre field. Chips it over the top. On to Miller. Miller kicks it deep towards half forward. Launceston an opportunity, any score will do. Whoever can get it to the score line and kick something, it'll make the difference because the scores are all tied up. Smith at ground level. He's set upon by two Glenorchy players, and the umpire has found a free kick. He was in perfect position. Now, Jake Smith, I'm pretty sure it's Jake Smith.
Yep.
We'll wait till he gets up off the bottom of the pack there.
Your man.
My man. He just needs to score from a Launceston point of view, and they would be in front. And right now, a point would probably be a handy result because
27, nearly 28 minutes gone, Baz.
Nearly 28 minutes. Now, what if a siren goes and the ball's halfway there? Here comes the Jake Smith kick. He's taking plenty of time. He knows all he needs to do is score. There's his kick. It will score. What it is, we'll find out. No, it won't. It went straight to the front of the goal score and was punched out by the last line of defence. Oh, another mark. It's been taken by Donnellan, I think we'll find it is, on the outer side there. Well, I thought that Jake Smith kick was through, you know, but the wind just grabbed it as it started to come back towards the ground and just dropped it straight down, and the pack touched it right on the line. So Donnellan. Now, he will kick right into the teeth of what Bruiser is left. And it has died away again to what it was earlier on in the game. Time clock tells us we've played almost 29 minutes. Donnellan now taking plenty of time. Generally a good long raking left foot kick. Here he comes. There's his kick. That won't make the distance. That's a scrubby old kick. Launceston, can they force it through from behind? They can. So there, hit the front. At the 30-minute mark of the final term, or almost the 30-minute mark of the final term, Launceston lead 81 to Glenorchy's 80. And the siren sounds as the ball's kicked back in. And Launceston have won the game by a behind, although we could look there now, we can see that Casey Brown marked that ball, and he will have a shot at goal, but I think it's too far out against this breeze. The last couple of kicks haven't made it, and they were both much closer. So here he comes with his kick. He's given it everything, and he's kicked it just over the man on the mark. Really, it hasn't gone all that far at all. So the final scores were to be confirmed. Of course, we're not the official scoreboard, but 12-9-81, Glenorchy 13-2-80. The goal umpires will come together and give the all clear very shortly. But Launceston run out winners by a point in the dying seconds of the final term. And the goal kickers for the Blues, Malucci kicked 3 goals, so too did Mitch Thorpe. Jay Blackberry kicked 3. And
Sorry, Baz.
and Jack Rushton kicked 2.
Yep.
Rulla Kelly Mansell kicked one, Brody Palfreman also kicked one, and for the Glenorchy side, a lot of goals in the last quarter, of course, and Ben Camerick kicked 3 of those in the last quarter to be their best contributor. Riley Oakley kicked 2, so too did Harry Parker and Callum Daly, and singles to James Webb, Mitch Rainbird, also Matthew Joseph and Joel Millhouse. But a very exciting game of football here at Windsor Park with 1 point the difference, and we're looking at the goal umpires now, and they're about to give the all clear. So that is the official score: 12-9, 81 Launceston, Glenorchy 13-80.
Great call, Baz, and well done. That was a fantastic finish, and Launceston getting a behind in that dying 30 seconds of play. They've taken out the win here in a thrilling game and maintained the top space on the ladder of the TSL for 2018. Launceston 12-9, 81, Glenorchy 13-80. We'll draw a breath here at the Windsor Park. We'll be back in just a moment. Defeat Glenorchy 13-80. We'll stay online just a little bit longer for our stream viewers. As you can see there, Simon's got a great shot of the Launceston team into the club rooms and the supporters all following in. It's fantastic atmosphere today. We had a lot of Glenorchy support there towards the end too, Baz.
There was indeed. Oh,
yep.
Oh, we're off. We're back on.
You're on.
There was indeed, and there was a lot just down below us somewhere. I don't quite know where they were. They're back in the warmth, I think. But yeah, a lot of support, and it was a terrific comeback and a great fight, and scores all tied up, and just 1 point the difference at the final siren.
Alex, we haven't got your thoughts yet on what is a pulsating last quarter. Let me see there, Baz. 7 goals to 2, and Launceston just held on.
Yeah, I think we said it at a three-quarter time. For Glenorchy to come out and win this game, they're going to have to take the game on and take some risks. They did that, and it's funny when you get 2 or 3 goals and the belief within the team and the momentum shifts between one team goes backwards and the other one goes forward, and they each, they believed and they took the risk. They went out wide. There was some really impressive field kicking. Okay, sometimes that costs you goals going the other way, but geez, to kick 7 goals too in 1 quarter. I reckon their coach, what was his name, Paul Kennedy, will be very, very happy with that. And
a great finishing too. Ben Camerick, his conversion there, that last quarter was fantastic.
Yep.
And, Glenorchy are a player in this competition, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, look, you've got to remember you've got Jay Bowden to come back into this team. That would have been a big say in how this game's, how it unfolds. Admittedly, so would Sam Rundle, Sam Lonigan and Hamish Leadham. These teams will go very deep this year for sure.
And Baz, credit to Launceston. They that last minute or two, they did go back into attack, and they looked a better team for most of the game, but they didn't quite finish the job as far as taking out a big win is concerned. But they did get the result, the 4 points. Yes, well, a win's a win, isn't it? And that's exactly what the coach will probably say. But at the end of the day, I think he'd be reasonably disappointed with their last term because they let Glenorchy in, and but Glenorchy, I mentioned a few times through the call, their second half of the game, they were just like different players to the ones that played in that first half.
earlier on in the game they were short passing, they were mucking around, they were going wide, they were fumbling and they were panicking and doing all those sorts of things. Second half it was a lot clean, more open. They looked for one another and they were much more positive, direct. Their marking, their kicking, everything improved out of sight. And Launceston had played just as well for all 4 quarters, but a little bit of a lapse in the last term. But that breeze, it was still there in the final term, and it helped Glenorchy get right up towards the wire. And unfortunate for them, they've gone down by 1 point.
Thanks to Barry Triffett and Alex Gibbons. We're going to farewell our live stream viewers now. Don't forget, we've got another live stream next week in this very spot. It's going to be a huge game. Launceston versus North Launceston, who had a big win today. It'll be 1 versus 2 on the ladder. So please join us from about 5 to 2 next Saturday for our next live stream here for the TSL, the Bupa TSL. Thanks to Simon and thanks to my commentators for the live stream. We'll continue now for City Park Radio listeners.